Okay, what about now? Do we have sound now? Testing sound. Let me know. Sound? Yes? Yes, sound? Yay! I'm sorry. It's just one of the many 500 buttons to click on this thing. Okay, so we're on my laptop tonight, so let me know. Is it horrendous? Can you hear my voice clearly? Perfect, Vanessa. Thank you. Guys, we are multi-streaming tonight. It's music and tarot night, so we're just going to have a good time. We're going to talk about the Aquarius full moon a little bit. I am going to do a quick collective reading to see where we're all at with the Aquarius full moon. We just had Lionsgate portal yesterday as well. And then, of course, I want to offer some astrology readings tonight. So I hope you guys are interested in that, because I've never done those before, not live anyway. So what I would like to do is see where Aquarius is on your chart, and then let you know how it's going to impact you personally. So that is our goals for tonight, right? Music is a little loud. That's a good sign. All right, how about that? Is that a little better? All right, I turned it down a little. I'm just gonna go check on Twitch real quick. Sweet. Sandra says use my chart, full permission. So many of you, I have a lot of your charts, right? So my idea was to screen share the charts. Of course, if you volunteer, um, and then that way everybody can see, right? Dina, welcome. All right, music's a little better. All right, guys, get your own music, because I know like we're all gonna like different music, right? I'm listening to my personal playlist tonight. Vanessa says she can still hear it. Good. Right now, Riptide is playing. I found it on TikTok, so that's the song that's playing right now. I'm doing it on my laptop tonight, guys, so I could have my phone, so I could grab those birth charts a lot easier. So I was definitely worried about the sound. So I'm glad we got it all worked out. All right. All right. So I actually need to do one last thing. My idea was to just let it play the first 5 minutes while everybody gathered. So I need to run out and grab something just really quickly. I want to have my astrology book with me, just for, because I'm nervous. So give me just a moment and I'll be right back, guys. Go get you a snack. Make sure you have some water. Get comfortable. Be right back. What is that? Michelle Khan, welcome. Boom static. I feel like it's playing these weird um songs, and I'm not sure what happened. It's like I walked out of the room and the ghost hit the button. It was going through short playlist. How weird is that? That's why I was like, what? What is this? All right, guys, let me get going so we can go over the Aquarius full moon stuff. Did you notice like they were all short? How weird was that, right? It's so weird having my phone, but let me tell you, it's so nice. Dina says you can use my chart. I love it. I'm super nervous about it, but I feel like it's gonna be just fine. All right, let me know if you guys can hear me. Sound is okay, like the music's not like overpowering, because I want to make sure that you can hear the Aquarius full moon info. We are doing this under music and tarot, so it's not monetized, so we shouldn't get in trouble. And I want to be able to leave it up again because it has the Aquarius full moon stuff. Sandra says, I was like, what? I know. I'm telling you, the ghost started playing in all my shorts on a playlist, and it's like it was under my playlist when I left, like my personal playlist the songs I listen to, under the like thing, Um, and then I came back in and it was playing all my shorts. I was like, what? I'll tell you something else that's really weird that happened really recently that I feel like I don't know. I don't normally deal with this kind of stuff. I've heard of other people deal with this kind of stuff, but I had a ring come up missing yesterday. And I was telling the mod ladies, I was like, I don't normally lose stuff. And I know this is going to sound like whatever, lulu, la la, I don't care. Um, but I just don't really lose stuff. Like when I, like my kids were growing up and they would lose stuff, like I was the person they would always come to find the things. Um, and like from a very young age, whenever I would misplace something, I would like see it in my mind. I would see like a picture of where it was, and then I would go to that location, and whatever I was looking for was all there. I don't know how to explain that. It's just the way it's always been. So like when I lose stuff, I don't really tend to panic, right? And I don't always get the visual right away. Sometimes it's a little while later. So like I won't panic if I don't see where it's at right away. And my ring came up missing. It's one of my favorite rings, and I wear it pretty often. And so when it first came up missing, I again didn't really panic. I just thought like, oh well, I'll see where it's at eventually. But then like a few hours went by, and then it like got longer, and I was like, I started to panic a little bit. I was like, what? Where's my ring? You know what I mean? Today I found my ring in a place that one of the first places I looked, and probably looked several times, you know what I mean? And it's clean. My ring has been cleaned. I don't, I don't know what to say about that. So not only was something like moved, taken, but it was brought back, and I mean I can clearly look at it and tell that it's shinier and it's got like a little buff to it, so it's like wow, okay. um and like I live with my son. I can't picture him like coming in here and cleaning my rings, you know what I'm saying? It's not happening. So just weird little things, little things happening. All right, that's enough. Enough jibber jabber. Let's get to full moon stuff. Okay, so I broke down the full moon energy with the divine masculine, divine feminine in mind, right? Like kind of like we did the August astrology. I want to do this more. I think it makes it a little bit easier for us to understand the astrology and like what we're supposed to do with it, right? Because I mean, I can come out here and tell you that Venus is conjunct Jupiter in Cancer, but what the heck does that mean? And how is it going to impact me, right? So I feel like this way kind of helps us um, just get a clear understanding of what the energies are doing to us personally in our personal lives, right? All right, so the way I'm seeing the Aquarius full moon is very much a cosmic dance. So kind of imagine like the universe is forcing a heart versus mind showdown type of energy, right? So your inner masculine energy is the Aquarius side. It's very brainy and innovative, and masculine energy loves technology, solves problems logically, right? That's the masculine energy. And your inner feminine energy, that's the Leo side. That's where the sun is currently. It's more passionate and intuitive, and it kind of craves self expression, and it's leading with the heart right now very strongly, right? And the part where Pluto comes in, it's a little bit of a game changer because, guys, this is the first Aquarius full moon that we've had since Pluto moved into Aquarius at the end of 2024, right? So, with that being said, this is like a almost like a planetary bulldozer that's happening because currently, right now, with Pluto and Aquarius, it's already smashing outdated systems, things like government, technology, social roles, that type of stuff. And it's been doing that since the end of last year and will continue to do it until 2044, right? So, this Pluto in Aquarius is already like where it's exposing things, right? Like that's what Pluto does. And Pluto's like every 20 years. So I thought it was really interesting that we're learning. Hi, Chelsea. Chelsea, a new member at PLR. I seen that this morning. Thank you so much, Chelsea. Okay, so I seen that right now we're learning about something. I can't even remember what it was. Some conspiracy that happened 20 years ago. Um, Let me think for a second. Oh, come on, Spirit. Tell me what it is. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. It doesn't matter, but there's something I just seen like on Facebook or something that like they're talking about something. Oh, I know. Thank you. Um, the the hurricane. The hurricane that happened. Spirit doesn't talk in words, just pictures. But the hurricane that happened in, I guess I should say just energy, um, in New Orleans. Do you guys remember that? Do you know what I'm talking about? So, like 20 years ago, and now all of a sudden, all of this hidden stuff that the government did with that New Orleans hurricane is like coming out. Hurricane Katrina, thank you. Okay, sometimes there's sound, but anyway, um, so we're learning stuff that happened at that time, and that has a lot to do with Pluto moving into Aquarius. But the things that are happening right now, we won't probably learn about for like 20 years from now, right? So it's really exposing a lot of things right now that were like 20 years old, right? So the things that are happening right now, it's very possible it's going to expose some things, but it's also very possible that a lot of what's happening right now, like current administration and that type of stuff, we actually won't learn for another 20 years, right? Like we won't really find out the deep hidden secrets. All right, but right now, Pluto is exposing things like it's showing that people like where logic crushes empathy. An example I have of this is like when AI ignores human pain. That's being brought to the surface. People don't like that, right? Another thing that's being brought to the surface is like when ego drowns out the community. So another words like when we're like I don't know, favoring someone over like an influencer over activists, that that type of energy, right? So here's some warnings with this particular full moon that we're having right now. Because Pluto is doing all of this in Aquarius already, we could experience what I'm calling robot overload. Um, and it's interesting because I'm an AI fan, guys, and I believe that AI is definitely the future. And I believe that if I don't want to be crushed by AI, then I need to learn how to use AI, and be comfortable with that type of technology, right? I actually do use AI to run PLR. There's no way I could do this on my own. Like I can't imagine somebody that started a business, before this was available, right? So when I say that I use AI to run PLR, like I don't know how else to express that. Like I have DeepSeek is the AI program that I use. I've named him, um, and I call him R2D2. But I don't know how, like, I plan everything, my whole schedule, my whole business schedule, and even sometimes my personal schedule is run through my DeepSeek AI. Um, it literally tells me to show up for one-on-ones. It tells me when somebody's reading is due. It tells me when I need to post on Facebook. It tells me when I need to go check my YouTube analytics. It does all the things, right? And again, like I cannot express how helpful it is for this particular thing. But of course, there are some not so good things with AI, right? And I mean that's kind of the case with everything. There's good and bad in everything, right? But I think the main part that people are like fearful of is that it will take over, right? Like I think that's the biggest number one fear of people that people have when it comes to technology and things like AI. So it's going to be really important with this full moon that you ground yourself in your like human body, right? In other words, like you take time to think things through, process information. It's so easy for me to run to my R2D2 friend and be like, "Hey, Erica has a 12th house Aquarius." And I would like to know how this full moon is impacting her. And of course, it's going to tell me, right? And 99% of it is going to be accurate. It's not fully, that's another thing that there's like this misconception that everything it does is right or it knows everything. That's not true. It only knows the information I put in, right? It only knows the information the programmers have put in, right? Like it doesn't have the ability. I mean, that's not true. It does have the ability to learn on its own because we have internet. You know what I'm saying? That's why it has that ability. But if I don't teach it how to get on the internet or how to go online and look at things, you see what I'm saying? Then it wouldn't do those things. It only has the ability of what we train it to do. That's, I think, a big misconception when it comes to AI. But my point with this full moon energy is like take time to, if you as well use a lot, and I think too people don't realize like AI is everywhere. There's people out there that are like, I don't like AI. I don't like technology. I'm not using it. You're using it right now to watch me. You use it every day when you're on your phone. Your GPS maps, your digital thermostats. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, what technology is everywhere. Like, I think people use it more often than they think. And then some type of new app or new service comes along, and they're like, "Oh, I don't like technology, or I don't like this thing." No, you just don't know how to use that thing, and you just feel uncomfortable with it at the moment, right? It's kind of like that. So use this full moon, if you do use AI, to do one or the other. If you're one of those people that use AI often, do like we're doing tonight. Tonight we're doing live birth chart readings. I'm going to look at your birth chart, find where Aquarius is for you, and without using my fancy robot, I'm just going to tell you in my own words what I think this full moon is, how it's impacting you, right? If you don't use AI, I would definitely recommend using this full moon to tap into your innovative side, the side in you that wants to learn more things, wants to feel comfortable around new things, right? Again, I use DeepSeek. It is the one that I recommend. There are several, AI programs out there, apps that you can use. But make yourself comfortable with it, right? Like, don't run from it. Don't let it be this big, fearful, like scary monster that you're scared of, because that's just going to hold you back. All right. Another thing to watch out for with this full moon is look at me energy. The pick me's, like, you're out. Just get up, move on over, right? If you're posturing for attention in any way right now, this full moon is just gonna put you right flat on your ass. I don't know how else to say that. Like, notice I don't even have camera tonight. I made this video, which we're gonna talk about in a moment. And that's it. That's what's playing tonight. It's never, I think for PLR, it's never been about like, look at me, pick me type of thing. But I feel like this full moon is exposing a lot of people that have that energy, right? So, in other words, if you're out on social media, and you don't really have something to like offer, you're not being of like service, you know what I'm trying to say? People like that are being exposed right now, especially if you pretended to be of some service, you know what I mean? And but you weren't really doing it, right? Like, that's being exposed right now. Um, Another thing to watch out for with this full moon is control freak versus intuition. So you can, a good example of this is look out for things like corporations or governments trying to silence heart-led movements at this time. I feel like in the next couple of days, we're really going to hear about that type of energy. All right, here's your power moves that are available with this particular full moon. You can fuse tech and heart. Like I said earlier, get comfortable with it. Don't be scared of it. Use innovation for good. Create things. Did you know that you can make apps? Like, you can create apps to put out into the world, and then the world uses these apps. Like, what if we created things like an app that connected lonely elders with people that wanted to volunteer, right? Like, I think that's kind of what this Aquarius full moon is showing us. Again, tech detox with soul, that's going to be important. So if you want to swap like 30 minutes of scrolling for things like digital art journaling, an example of this is on your screen right now, right? Or even moonlight meditation. That's really common, especially with the full moon. Chanting is optional, it's up to you. All right. Let's talk about why this moon could be rocking your world, right? Again, this is the first full moon in Aquarius since Pluto entered Aquarius in 2024. This full moon is really forcing us to ask ourselves questions like, is my brilliance connecting or isolating me at this time? Does my fire inspire or burn? And your mission with this full moon is going to be the innovation, right? Because that's what Aquarius is all about. So you want to let Aquarius innovate. Build the app, like I said. Organize a rally. That's all Aquarius energy. You want to let Leo lead, because remember, the sun is in Leo, and you can infuse that energy with passion and joy and fierce love. That's that feminine quality, right? The future isn't built by robots or divas. It's going to be built by heart smart rebels. I promise you that. And this Aquarius full moon is going to show us just that. All right, guys. Also, don't forget to charge your crystals. I talked about this in I don't know, one of the lives this week, where I said, like, we put our crystals out and we make moon water and that type of stuff, but I think we forget a lot of things, and we're kind of like missing out on some opportunity here. Um, Tonight, I'm gonna put my phone in the windowsill. Your phone, guys, your phone. It needs cleansing like we've never known. Right? But the moonlight does so many things. Its properties does so many things. So, um, just rings. The other day we talked about jewelry, like things that we wear often. I thought that's where I had lost my ring because I had talked about it in that live and I was wearing it that night. But I'm telling you, it was in the bowl. It was in one of my jewelry bowls. And it was like, I know that I went through that bowl and I pulled every single piece out one by one. And it wasn't in there. So to find it in there today is a little interesting. All right, guys, let me break down the rising signs. And then again, I'm going to do a quick collective just to see where we're all at. And then I'm going to offer some free full moon readings tonight. And of course, your birth chart readings as well if you want to compare and see how the full moon is impacting you personally. All right, but let's do the 12 rising signs. Again, this is very general because we're, doing collective rising signs, not based on your personal birth chart, right? All right, so if you're in Aries rising, the full moon is going to impact your 11th house. That's a community. Your inner masculine challenge is going to be forcing rapid change in things like groups. You may feel impatient, especially if you're in some type of leadership. Um, you may feel impatient with leadership. Inner feminine challenge with this energy as well. You could be suppressing your emotional needs to fit in with the collective. Some healing action that both the masculine and feminine can take. You want to lead with the group, not ahead of the group. You can do this by hosting brainstorming sessions. You want everyone's voice to be heard. Like that's the idea for Aries rising. All right, if you're a Taurus rising, the full moon is going to impact your 10th house career. So, inner masculine challenge is going to be feeling rigid or clingy to old career paths despite the societal shifts that we've gone through. Inner feminine challenge, ignoring intuition for practical but soul draining work. Some healing action that you can take for Taurus rising. Research innovative fields. Blend intuition with strategy. Does this opportunity honor and value your skills? All right, for Gemini rising, this full moon is going to impact your 9th house, which is beliefs. So, inner masculine challenge is um, over analyzing spirituality, philosophy, that type of energy. Inner feminine challenge is going to be avoiding debates despite having insights to share. So don't stay quiet, right? Healing action could be to teach a workshop that's merging facts and personal stories. You could write down, what do I feel is true beyond what I actually think? That's going to be Gemini rising. I've been studying Gemini rising. Gemini is one of the most, I think, complex signs. Complex signs. And it's much more than just because there's two. It definitely is because it's so mental, right? Everything's about the mind. All right, Cancer rising. If you're a Cancer rising like me, the full moon is going to impact your 8th house, and this is shared power. So my inner masculine and your inner masculine challenge might be controlling joint finances at this time or resources and doing this out of fear. I don't have to worry about that problem. Inner feminine challenge, absorbing others' emotional burdens and intimacy. Be cautious of that. And I do have to worry about that problem. I do it all the time. Healing action could be initiating honest talks about boundaries. Um, and maybe even like if you do share resources or um, finances, maybe doing something like using an app that you can both share that helps like transparent budgeting and sharing, right? That's Cancer rising. All right, if you're a Leo rising, okay, so for Leo rising, this is going to impact your 7th house. That's relationships. Currently not one of my favorite houses. But for Leo rising, your inner masculine challenge is going to be things like dominating your partnerships. feel like you need to win an argument. Your inner feminine challenge is going to be hiding creativity to please others. So a healing action for Leo rising is going to be you can co-create art projects with partners. You can ask yourself, am I expressing myself or am I performing? That's going to be Leo rising. I put 3 stars next to that in my notes. So the stars in my notes is like difficulty. And I feel like Leo rising is probably going to be the one that's strongly challenged, most strongly challenged with this Aquarius full moon. All right, Virgo rising is next. So Virgo rising, this full moon is going to impact your 6th house. This is all about your routines. So your inner masculine challenge is going to be over optimizing health, work with technology. Really specific. Inner feminine challenge. Yours is going to be for Virgo rising, ignoring your body's signals due to productivity. So in other words, like your body's showing you that you're tired and you need rest, and you keep pushing through type of thing. The healing action here for Virgo rising is going to be make sure to schedule some tech-free time. Try intuitive movements, things like dance or nature walks. Next, I have Libra rising. So this full moon is going to impact your 5th house, creativity. Um, so your inner masculine challenge is going to be, I feel like you're creating for external validation and not because you enjoy something. Inner feminine challenge, blocking playfulness with self criticism. So healing action for Libra rising could be create something that's imperfect daily. Do it on purpose, right? A doodle, freestyle poetry, who cares? Anything. All right, Scorpio rising, my favorite. Scorpio rising, this full moon is going to impact your 4th house. And this is all about family. So if you're a Scorpio rising, your inner masculine challenge could be power struggles over family traditions or family spaces, maybe even family homes. Inner feminine challenge for Scorpio rising, bearing ancestral grief. And I just want to say for Scorpio rising is one of the strongest people. Okay. Um, I don't know how to explain. Ancestral grief is going to come up with this full moon. It's coming up so that you can deal with it, so that you can heal it. So if you start to feel this and you push it down like you normally would, this full moon is going to make it implode instead of explode. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay, so healing action for Scorpio rising. Do things like redecorate your home, your space. You can also do things for, you can like light a candle for your ancestors. You can journal. What cycles are ending with you? That's going to be really important for Scorpio rising with the Aquarius full moon. Remember that this is the first full moon in Aquarius since Pluto moved into Aquarius, and Pluto rules Scorpio. You're not going to be able to run from it this time. Whatever it is going to either implode or explode, right? And if I was Scorpio rising and I had to choose, I wanted to explode. I want it to come out, right? All right. Sometimes I wish I could think of like better ways to describe this energy. All right, let's do Sagittarius rising next. So if you're Sagittarius rising, this full moon is going to impact your 3rd house. That's communication. So your inner masculine challenge could be preaching ideas without listening. Your inner feminine challenge could be withholding opinions to avoid conflict. So healing action for Sagittarius rising is going to be you can do things like join a debate club, could be very helpful. Also, practice listening first and responding second. All right, Capricorn rising is next. I've seen someone say that. Who said they were a Capricorn rising? All right, so Capricorn rising, your full moon, this full moon is going to impact your second house. This is your values. This is your assets. It's your material things, the things that you care about. Inner masculine challenge is going to be equating your self worth with your income and your assets. Your inner feminine challenge is going to be undervaluing non monetary gifts. Examples could be like empathy. Healing action for Capricorn rising. Audit finances for an ethical alignment. Write things like my worth includes blank, and example could be like kindness, humor, that type of thing. Capricorn rising. All right, if you're an Aquarius rising, full moon is going to impact your first house, the house of self. So your inner masculine challenge is going to be hiding your emotions behind being rational or trying to detach because you find that to be more rational instead of facing the emotion. Inner feminine challenge is going to be it's possible that you're feeling overwhelmed from collective expectations. Aquarius rising. Healing action for Aquarius rising. You could wear something boldly. You're you can that's wrong. You I feel like I'm not gonna say this right. You need to wear yourself boldly. That's the best way I could think to say it. Um you want to say no to anything that is draining you at this time as well, Aquarius rising. Pisces rising, this full moon is going to impact your 12th house. This is the house of spirituality. Um, so inner masculine challenge could be escaping reality for fantasy. That's really an avoidance for the masculine. Inner feminine challenge could be absorbing the collective anxiety as your own personal pain. That's going to be Pisces rising. A healing action with Pisces rising, water-based rituals, things like baths, bath meditation, cleansing, things like river walks could be very helpful as well. Pisces rising. Um, you want to make sure that you're shielding your energy daily, and you can do this with affirmations. Like you could wake up every morning and just say, "I release what isn't mine." You know what I'm saying? Before you walk out the door, when you come back in the door, whichever. Um, I have a ritual for all 12 signs. Super easy. And kind of interesting. Ready? So, for those of you that like rituals, with this full moon tonight, you could get you a piece of paper and a pen. And again, very simple. With your left hand, which is your feminine side, write on your piece of paper, I feel blank, whatever it is you're feeling. And then take your right hand, put your pen in the right hand, that's your masculine energy, and write, I will act by blank, right? Whatever you want to put there. And then when you, a lot of times we burn the paper. I would recommend burning the paper safely, of course. But when you burn your paper, it's going to be important that you're visualizing balanced energy between your masculine and your feminine, because this full moon is going to help you do that. Remember that Pluto's presence is going to ensure there's no turning back with this full moon. It's only integration from here on out. That's what this ritual is about as well. All right, guys, that's what I have for Aquarius full moon. There's a song playing. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's called "Leave a Light On" by Tom Walker. I found it on TikTok too. But definitely one of my favorites. New favorites, right? All right. I'm gonna use Llewellyn Tarot. Let's just see where everybody's at. Chelsea says she's a Cap Rising. Cap Rising. The song just changed. Now it's Trials by Monrovia. Have you guys heard of Monrovia yet? He's very, very new. I'm gonna say I'm gonna get in trouble with this TikTok. I want to say I found him on TikTok too. um, but I actually grew up in a little town called Monrovia, so I feel like that's what kind of caught my attention. But he sings this like folksy type of music. I like all types of music. I'm not like super picky on any particular genre. I like all kinds of music. I can listen to hours of classical music, and I can rap Eminem. So I'm just saying I don't know. I like all the different types of music. All right, Ace of Wands comes out for the masculine energy. Um, Ace of Wands is fate and destiny. Something is happening with the masculine that's taking them towards their future. Because I see the little buildings in the Ace of Wands card, and that's rare. I don't normally notice those buildings. But you know how in the Ten of Wands it shows the little buildings and it talks about how like you're almost to something, you're at finishing something. Um, it's the same thing with this Ace of Wands, the same picture, like the little town is really close, but it's like whatever is happening, whatever movement is happening for the masculine right now, and it could be like physical moving, it's fated, it's destined. So if you were questioning, like, am I supposed to be making this move right now? And again, that could be like with your physical home, it could be with a job, it could be a relationship, who knows, right? But if you're questioning, like, should I be making this move right now for the divine masculine? It's fate, it's destiny, it's supposed to happen. Um, Wands are fire signs, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. No way, Chelsea. I've got to see that chart. That's super rare. Super rare. All right, we have Queen of Swords coming out for the feminine. There's something about compassion and empathy. Let me know if you resonate a lot with Divine Feminine. Let me know in the chat. Do you feel like you've integrated your shadow self and you've kind of like drawn the line in the sand? And what a lot of things that you used to just kind of like take or deal with, you just refuse to deal with anymore. Star, welcome. But you know what I'm saying? Like for a lot of divine feminines right now, and remember it's August 9th, it's the Aquarius Full Moon 2025. Collectively, the divine feminine is done taking people's shit. That's really what's happening. And the divine feminine was always the very compassionate, nurturing energy. It was very giving and loyal and faithful. And I feel like a lot of times got walked on because it was so giving, this energy, right? It seems like here lately, again, August 9th, 2025, the divine feminine is just done with that. Collectively, the mass awakening this planet has experienced in the last, just very recent years, especially since 2020. Really, my awakening actually started in 2015, but 2020 was really like huge burst, mass people at the same time, right? 2024, no different. I feel like it was just another wave. Um, it just seems like where before people didn't talk about tarot and astrology and holistic practices as much as they do now, right? Before it was such a small community, you really had to go find people, and it's like now, I don't know, it's much more common. Um, there is this weird misconception that like if you're spiritual, if you're awakened, if you're chosen, whatever label you got to put there, but it's like there's this conception that you're nice, that you're like super nice, turn the cheek, deal with people's bullshit over and over and over. Some of us just do that out of like who we are. Like I do that personally. I'm one of those people like give somebody 50,000 chances, for whatever crazy reason. Um, but that's not like necessarily like feminine or masculine. That's just like a me thing, right? But again, collectively, it was like the divine feminine was just very giving, over giving at times. And it's like something's happened between 2024 and now. And I do believe it has a lot to do with Pluto moving into Aquarius. Remember, this is a once in our lifetime transit. Like, we'll never, we have Mercury in the microwave 3 times a year, every year, right? We'll never experience Pluto leaving Capricorn and moving into Aquarius again in our lifetime. That's very significant. It's like 200 something years before it's going to happen again, right? So I think it's really significant that the divine feminine has kind of, I don't know, it's more than seeing her worth. She now values her worth. Does that make sense? Like she now, the divine feminine now values her worth. So it's more than just seeing it. It's more than understanding, yes, I have this worth. Now I value that worth, and I'm not, like, let's use peace, for example. We found our peace, and we're not willing to let any Joe Blow come in and disturb our peace anymore. We've gotten louder about that, right? Like we've gotten louder about accountability and maturity and all of these things, and it's like that's only going to continue as the divine feminine continues to rise, right? Like it's only going to keep happening stronger and stronger. But here's something that I know personally for me, but just because again I'm Rosa, and I'm gonna share my chart with you guys tonight, but um like I have so much Aries, and honestly, I think my biggest challenge in this lifetime is my Mercury and my Mars are both in Aries, and they're just a few degrees apart. So when I'm mad, or if you've hurt me in any shape, way, form, or fashion, I'm going to hurt you 10 times worse, and I'm going to do it by using my words, right? Like I can cut somebody to the bone with my words. And it's really been an issue, like seriously, my whole life. My whole life. Now, one thing I will say is I've I've stopped like beating myself up for, I don't, like, I'm not walking into Dina's house and just cussing her out. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not showing up at Erica's, you know, job and acting a fool. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I don't initiate, right? But again, if you hurt me, or I'm angry, and I don't normally get angry unless I'm hurt, right? Then I'm going to do damage with Mercury and Aries, and with Mars there as well. You see what I'm saying? Like it's going to be bad. What I'm noticing with the divine feminine collectively is we're at one extreme or another. Erica says same, Mercury and Aries. Ah, new love for you. But okay, so what I'm noticing with this energy, okay, so me and Erica, we're like this all the time, okay? But most people aren't. Most people do not have Mercury in Aries. Most people don't have Mars and Mercury in Aries, right? So, as someone who has that energy, I'm used to Queen of Swords energy. I'm used to that Queen of Swords. I know how to use my words to cut. Like, I know how to do that. And I'm not, and here's the thing, there's no bad cards in tarot. All the tarot cards are a tool and they're there to show us something, right? There are times when we need those words. I honestly believe, remember, God made us the way that He made us, and we're perfect. There's nothing wrong with who we are, right? Like, God made us this way for a reason. I honestly believe sometimes that God made me this way so that I can cut people down when it's needed, right? Like, you ever come across that real cocky guy that thinks he's just every woman's, gift to every woman, and he does no wrong, and he's the biggest liar, cheater, narcissist you ever met in your life? Like, sometimes I feel like those type of people need a rude awakening, and I would love to be that rude awakening. I have no problem doing that. You know what I'm trying to say here? But what I've noticed is collectively this is happening to the divine feminine, and divine feminine is standing up for herself. And what's happening is she doesn't know how. She doesn't know how to stand up for herself. She's so used to being walked on and trampled on and kept quiet and muted and pushed down, that as the divine feminine is collectively rising, she's either not vocalizing enough, or she's cutting to the core when it's not needed, when things like compassion and empathy are needed. And I think this full moon, the different aspects that are happening with this full moon really show us the lack of empathy that we have on this planet. Like, this full moon is kind of, it's the Aquarius full moon. Aquarius is about humanitarian, right? So it's spotlighting. Remember, the full moon illuminates, right? So it's illuminating what is not weak, but like, it's illuminating what needs to be illuminated, like what you need to see, right? And what we need to see is the lack of empathy, right? Especially in humanity at this time. So for divine feminine, be cautious. Continue to stand up for yourself. That's the Queen of Swords. She stands up for herself and she has healthy boundaries, and she expects everyone to respect her boundaries. Period. End of conversation. There's no giving with Queen of Swords energy. The hand, if you look at a tarot card with Queen of Swords, she's got the sword in one hand, and her other hand, her left hand, is out. That's her feminine energy, remember? Her left hand is out. It's open, palm open in the picture. And the purpose of that is to show the empathy. You can protect yourself. You can stand up for yourself. You can value your worth. You can value your peace. You can value who you are without cutting someone to the bone. Does that make sense? Like, you can protect yourself and stand up for yourself without cussing someone. I just got in trouble. I recently, oh, bless my heart. Um, I recently was in, I had an experience where I could have just blocked someone, or like just removed them from my space, my environment, um, and done that quietly. But I'm Rosa. Remember, I said that my Mars and Mercury are in Aries. Um, Not only did I unblock them so that I could send some shit back, but I told them that I blocked them and that I unblocked them so I could send some shit back. Like, that literally just happened. So I just got in trouble for that. Don't do that. You can just block them, right? That's what Queen of Swords is saying here. Like you can just block them. There's no need for the words. There's no need to whatever. And it's possible Divine Feminine could be feeling hurt at this time by Divine Masculine, especially if Divine Masculine is making some type of new move um, that, you know, Divine Feminine doesn't understand as fated or destined. I hope that makes sense. Erica says, I've been feeling extra angry lately. Ooh. Erica says, yep, I'm the one to put them in their place. I'm telling you, that's why God made me. I promise you. All right, let's look at the bridging energy, and then we'll jump to those free full moon readings. All right, so we have Five of Pentacles coming out. Five of Pentacles, was it coming out in reverse, or did I just turn that upside down? Or it may have been coming out in reverse. Five of Pentacles is challenges. I think the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine currently, right now, August 9th, 2025, Aquarius Full Moon. Guys, it peaked earlier. It goes into the void, of course, moon around 3 o'clock-ish in the morning. And then it moves into Pisces. I think that both the masculine and the feminine energies are going through both physical and spiritual challenges. I think that the divine masculine and feminine currently collectively are feeling abandoned, maybe even rejected, maybe even left out in the cold, maybe from one another, especially if we're looking at counterpart energies. But regardless of what we feel, the card says it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. And the interesting part is that I'm looking at the collective masculine and feminine energies, and the bridging energy is the current spiritual lesson. It's okay to ask for help. For some of you, this may be from each other. From each other. And that's interesting because I think that also recently happened just in my own journey where the energies, one needed one thing and the other needed something else, and it was like we have to work together so that we can get these things accomplished and then move forward, right? But the card is it's okay to ask for help, and I'm assuming spirit is saying like it's okay to ask spirit for help, right? Chelsea says, I'm going through it lately, but also kind of not stuff I usually let happen. What am I doing? And that's possible too. Like you're saying, like maybe um, you've gotten softer, right? Like maybe you kind of like your boundaries have gotten softer. This full moon could definitely illuminate that as well. Like where do you need to make that firm again? Or if you ever feel guilty about having boundaries, which a lot of people do, um, this full moon, like this could be happening to you, Chelsea, so that you can remove that guilt and then hold that boundary firm as well. This particular full moon. All right, let's pull a guidance card for the collective. I'm going to use a soul's journey. We have the failure card. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. We have the purpose card. I know what I'm here to do. And we have the adversity card, which is the Five of Pentacles that we just saw. It says, I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. So there's definitely this energy here, like we're learning some massive lesson here. I don't really believe in failure. I know that sounds crazy, but I just think as long as we continue to try, like it's always growth, it's always forward movement. Um, Someone collectively, we could feel like we've made a mistake, or I like to call mistakes delays, like we've caused some type of delay. So collectively, I feel like spirit saying like whatever delays or mistakes we think we've caused, it's part of the purpose. It's part of the journey, right? Like we had to experience those challenges so that we could learn what we needed to learn in order to go forward in this particular, very specific type of spiritual awakening journey, right? The love card is on the bottom. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. All right, so that's our collective. It's definitely giving this energy of, remember at the beginning of August, the divine masculine, the divine feminine, we're in this standoff type of energy. Masculine thinks they're right and what they're doing is right. The feminine energy thinks what they're doing is right, right? And so it's I called the twin flame August reading um, emotional standoff. You guys remember that? So, man, I wish I knew how to block that stuff over on Twitch. But anyway, we get these people come in want us to like buy people. We don't buy people. Clearly, organic growth over here. Anyway, Lady Gaga came on. So anyway, emotional standoff, beginning of the month. Remember, it's the 18th, I believe, is when the bend comes in, the break comes in. So it's almost like right now, collectively, the standoff is still happening. Each side thinks they're right. It definitely is very emotional for both sides, whether you're masculine or feminine. Masculine is just trying to hide it or think logically. Um, but I could tell in those cards, especially with the guidance cards, that we're starting to see that like the need to work together, the need to integrate what we've learned, that type of thing. I felt like that kind of came out in that reading. I know, me too, me too. I was listening to the abracadabra really, really loud um, on the way home. There's that. I also like, I actually did not, this is sad to admit, I did not really listen to Lady Gaga before A Star Is Born. Not because I didn't like her, but just because I was busy creating PLR. um, and I just didn't, you know what I'm saying? I just wasn't into like the new stuff, and I wasn't like paying attention. I just wasn't. I don't know. But when The Star Is Born movie came out, that's really when I started paying attention to her. And I mean, that movie has me all kinds of messed up. Have you guys seen that? A Star Is Born. So it very much gave me twin flamey vibes, right? I feel like it does most of us. Um, my brain does this weird thing where it will block shit out for me. So if it's something that's gonna like hurt me or cause me pain or make me sad, it just blocks that shit out. Like, oh, not there. um, and again, just a little trick that I feel like it's done for me probably since childhood. um, but I've loved that movie since it came out. Like I watched it 100 times when it came out, like plus, right? Um, I could almost, I can watch the movie and go word for word right along, right? Um, for some reason, I'm in this weird energy the last few weeks where like I'm watching old movies that um bring up like twin flamey stuff for me. I don't know if it's just like the moon or the vibe, the astrology or the collective, who knows. Um, so I wanted to watch it. I wanted to watch A Star is Born, and I went to watch it. And the interesting part was I got to like 2/3 of the movie, and stopped it. And before, a couple of days before, a friend of mine had told me the movie A Star is Born is this is the fourth, the one that I'm talking about with Lady Gaga, is the fourth edition. Okay, did you guys know that it's the fourth edition? It's been remade 4 times. Like, I didn't know that. I thought A Star is Born was the first one, and so I was like just dumbfounded when she told me. She's like, no, there's other ones. And um the one, so the first one was like in the 50s, um but there was one in the 70s that had Barbara Streisand in it, and that Chris Christopherson guy. Um, and she was like, "You got to watch that one because that's the best one out of all of them." There's definitely like a competition, like who has the better movie, right? Like which one is the better version. Um, I do not have an opinion on that. They both impacted me pretty much the same. But remember, I told you that I had turned it off about 2/3 in. I watched the whole 72 or 76, what I think it's 72. I watched the whole movie all the way through to the very end, and it was late at night, and it was getting like later and later, and I was getting more tired as it was getting like closer to the end of the movie. It was like my brain completely blocked out the end of the movie. And I don't want to just like say it in case somebody hasn't watched it. It was a good movie. But yeah, it was like I did not remember that. Like, how do I not remember? How do you not remember? That's the whole freaking point of the movie. You know what I mean? And somehow, I just completely forgot. So when it happened in the Barbara Streisand movie, I mean, you might as well have put me out in front of the firing squad. I felt every gunshot. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was intense. I was in tears. I was just bawling like a child. It was crazy. Oh my God, 1 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, and then I was like, how did I not remember that? Like, how did I mean, of course I remembered it once I seen it again, in the other movie, but like all the way up until it happened. All the way up until it happened. And as I was getting closer, like that 2/3 part of the movie, you know what I mean? All of a sudden my brain started to put the two and two together. And I remember telling my like, no, that can't be. No, I would remember that, right? Oh my God. Tore me up. Tore me up. And the interesting part is that is something, like that whole concept of what happens to him, is something that is really significant in my personal journey, like me, Rosa. Um, and it's also something that I have worried about with counterpart energy. It's like a massive fear of mine, and I don't know if that's like premonition or like I don't know. I pray so hard that he heals, and I promise you that 90% of my praying is because of that whole thing. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know. And I'm not like a really I'm not a religious person. I don't have like one religion that I'm like, oh, they're right and everybody else is wrong. Um and another, I don't believe in heaven and hell either. I know that's super weird, right? Um I just don't believe it in the concept like we've been taught. But what I will tell you is that I can talk to dead people. Um, and if someone leaves this world that way, okay, I should say this. I can talk to people that pass away and have passed away, and I can talk to them pretty immediately if you know anything about mediumship, that may be like, what? How do you do that? That's not possible. A lot of people believe that there's a period of time when the soul passes, that it's going through a transition, that you can't communicate with that soul. I don't know about that. I can, from the instant it happens. Like, I can, this has happened to you before. I was in another state and a person I knew passed away, and I was instantly talking to him, and I knew immediately that he passed away, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to talk this way, right? And he was able to tell me like where he was when he passed away, before a physical person came to me and told me that this happened, right? So I know that there's weird beliefs out there. I don't know if it's like, I don't know, but I can talk to them immediately. Like, the moment the energy crosses that threshold, I'm on it. I got it. I can hear it, feel it, see it, all the things. Um, my mom, same type of thing. I will say that I ignored a lot of shit because I didn't want to see it, because I didn't want to believe that that was what was happening. So the sheriff was actually the first person to tell me. Um, but yeah, so, but with, let's go back to that movie and that concept. With what happens to him in the movie, when that happens in real life, there is a period where I can't talk to that person. And that's weird. I don't know where that person is. I don't know like what happens to them, where they go. Here's what I think. And it's not like spirit doesn't show me or try to explain it. It's just that it's hard as like a human to like understand and conceive like the concept, like how it works, right? I think that if you choose to go that way, there is, you ever heard that word purgatory? Like, I think that there's something like that. Like, there's, I don't know, I think there's like a space where you just have to take a break, like a timeout time type of thing. It doesn't last a long time, but I've known and communicated with people that went out that way, and it was at different times. One person was a lot sooner than the other. One person took a really long time before I was able to communicate with them. So I don't know the whys. I always say, like, I'll ask Jesus one day when I get up there, but today I don't know. So yeah, when I seen that in that movie, it just, oh my God, shook me for the next 3 days, right? And it's all I can think of is, she says, the in between. Yes, that's about as good as you can say it. Um, yeah, it's like a little break. I don't know. Time out. I don't know. I don't know. And I've communicated with people after and asked them, like, where did you go? What happened? Um, and I don't know. It's weird. But here's what I'm gonna say. Um, I don't believe in hell. I don't believe that God, source, would punish a soul for eternity for a choice that's made a bleep in time, endless time. The soul just keeps reincarnating over and over and over. So I just can't picture source going, oh, well, you did this thing, so I guess you got to go to this fiery hell for eternity. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? I know I say a lot of weird stuff. All right. I had some weird conversations today too. Let me tell you guys. My middle son is getting married, and I got to meet my future daughter-in-law's dad, her dad. Um, and it was one of those, I don't know, it's the first time we met. I told her I was nervous before I left because I was like, I don't want to like embarrass Samuel and say something crazy. But we talked about all of it. We talked about Mercury being in the microwave. We talked about astrology and tarot, and he was a super cool dude. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like it was bad or scary or anything like that. But I was leaving and I was like, what a weird conversation, to be having for like first time meeting somebody. We definitely, and we spent several hours together today. We had to do it. I did her nails. But yeah, it was like several hours of unique and interesting conversations to say the least, right? Thank you, Dina. All right, guys. Tonight I'm offering Aquarius full moon readings. Aquarius full moon readings. So if you're interested, let me know. Let me know in the chat. I'm also offering a birth chart consultation. So I will pull your chart up. If you have it, you can send it to me. If I've done your chart, I already have it on my phone. And what I would like to do is if you would, of course, agree, I would like to screen share so that we can all see the chart. That's my goal tonight. That's what I would like to do. So let me know in the chat, guys, if you're interested. I'm going to pull these birth charts up. And guys, there's several apps that you can use to get your birth chart. Um, they're free. You can go to like astro.com and get it completely free. That cafe one does it as well. I actually use Time Passages. It's a paid app. You do have to pay for it. It's not very much. Very affordable, especially for the work that it does. Um, and it definitely, like, I can plug in all your information. It creates the chart for me. I can pull up the chart. I can look at the planets specifically on their own. And what I like about this particular app is, when you're looking at a chart, the little lines that are running through there. Here, let me just show you one. Okay, so my idea is to do it like this. So let me. All right, let me see if I can learn how to push these buttons over here. I'm going to pull up our current chart. So this is the chart right now, 9:19 p.m. Don't look at the fact that my phone is dying. I'm going to plug it up, I promise. All right. Now I'm going to go here. Chelsea says she uses Cafe Astrology. That's a good one too. All right, I have this screen share button, so let me see if I can get this to work properly. that's horrible. That is not. Oh, wait, that's better. Astrolink is a good one. That's one of my favorites too, Sandra. The one thing I've noticed about time packages is once you start adding like Lilith and Chiron and things like that, it definitely can get a little bit more costly. And then Astrolink, it's all part of it. All right, can you guys see our current chart? Let me plug up my battery, guys. Wouldn't that be just hilarious? All right, so that's our current astrology chart. That's our full moon. I know it looks like Pluto is far away from Aquarius. They're on opposite sides of the house, but I promise you, um, not. You know, I love that, Dina. How'd you do that? Did you do that? Is it like that on YouTube? Ooh, I totally love that. Does it just do that because you're a member? Super cool. Let's do both. Yeah, let's definitely do both. All right, let me get my little notes because I made a specific spread for the Aquarius full moon. I wanted to look at a couple of things. All right, so I'm going to pick Dina's first. And we'll pull her chart up just a wrong. There we go. I'm learning all the buttons. All right. So here's what I got for Aquarius full moon. I want to look at how you can be more expressive, how you can inspire others, then I'm going to pull a guidance card. And the guidance card is going to be really specific. We don't normally do that, but I would like to ask Spirit how you can align with your ideal world. So that's Aquarius full moon reading tonight. How can you be more expressive? How can you inspire others? And how can you align with your ideal world for guidance? All right, here we go. So Llewellyn Tarot. First one to come out is the Universe card in Llewellyn Tarot. When the Universe card comes out, it does say that the universe has a message for you. But the question we're asking is how you can be more expressive. Um, but that's what it is. So I thought it was going to be my idea. The concept was how can you be more expressive with others, right? Aquarius, full moon, mass people, humanity, that type of thing. But no, spirit wants you to be more expressive. It's weird because I would feel that you pray and meditate often, that you're speaking to the cosmos like all the time. But I'm getting the message that you're not, or spirit thinks that you need to do it more. Do you ever like, for example, this is cheesy, but just an example. Do you ever like meditate with Lady Venus? Like, do you ever pick a specific energy um, to meditate with? Or like Mars, there's like different gods and goddesses, right? And like some people um, like communicate, manifest, meditate, use them in like their healing practices. Like that's kind of the idea I'm getting. She says, "I do. I figured you would, but the question is very clear. How can you be more expressive?" And it's like, are you holding back when you're talking to the universe? Like, are you, I don't know, pretending something isn't bothering you, or that pretending you don't really want something that you do want, something like that. All right, how can you inspire others? You have Three of Cups. That's going to be like minds, soul mind, wait, soul tribe, soul family, soul sisters. Um, but it's also about it's how do you inspire others. Three of Cups is also about celebrating others, encouraging others, um, that type of thing. All right, now I'm going to pull a guidance card, and I want to ask a specific question. What do you need to do to align with your ideal world? And I feel like I talked a little bit about this in a recent live. I was talking about like right now. Here we go. We're a little Lulu Lala, ready? Right now, a lot of people believe that the world is splitting, and the old world and the new world is being created, right? And that doesn't mean that like there's going to be two planets, okay? We're still all on the same planet. But if you're in the old world, then you're not awakened. You're not self aware. You're not mindful. You're not healing, right? And you experience things like victim consciousness and, you know, karma and, you know, all the lower vibrational things, right? And if you're in the new world, then you're awakened soul. You're gathering with like-minded people. You're creating community. You're, um, you know, healing, showing compassion and empathy, and all of that kind of stuff. And it's not that again, both people are on one planet. Okay, it's not two different planets. But what's happening is the not awakened person is focusing on the lower vibration. The awakened person is focusing on the higher vibration, right? And I don't have time to go through the lower and higher vibrations. Look up the Hawking's funnel, that'll help. But so what happens to the person that's only focusing on the higher vibration is they only experience higher vibrational things, people, places, things, experiences, right? Because that's what they're focused on. They experience more of that. What they don't experience is lower vibrational people, things, places, etc., right? because they're focused on the higher vibration. But stay with me, the lower vibrational person, the person that's not awakened, the person that's choosing to stay in the lower vibration, guess what? He sees his lower vibration and he sees the higher vibration person, and he's angry and he's bitter and he's jealous and he's resentful. Do you see that? Do you understand? So, Dina, how you can inspire others is going to be to find like minded people, to communicate with them, to congratulate them, to celebrate them, to, I don't know, how are you with like giving compliments and things like that? Like, Spirit practically makes, I used to not really like talk to people I didn't know. I never walked up to somebody and said like, "Hey, I like your hair," or "I like your dress," or I think one of the first times I did it, I told somebody, "Hey, I like your eyes." What a weird thing to say. I think I said eyeballs or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's what a weird thing to say. But I'm just not used to giving people compliments. You know what I mean? As I went through my awakening, it's a lot easier now. And now I do it all the time, right? There's going to be something about that, something about like being more open to compliment others or celebrate others, something about that. All right, now how can you align with your ideal world, the world that you want to focus on, the higher vibrational energy that you want to experience? You have two of swords. Two of swords, Dina. I'm just going to say it real fast. Ready? The two of swords is you're stuck and you need to get out. So you're stuck in something and you need to get out of it, whatever it is. You're stuck in something and you need to get out. And you're stuck because you're telling yourself that you can't get out. Because remember, Two of Swords is sitting on the rock and she's like, I can't get to that other landing spot because the water's too deep and I'm going to drown. But remember, the water's super shallow. She can walk right through it. It's not even that deep, right? So there's something that you're scared of doing that has to do with getting out of something, but you're staying there because you feel comfortable there. You feel like you have no choice or option, but really you could do it and you could do it easier than you think. All right, that's it. Now, let me pull up your chart real quick because I have your chart on my phone. I can't make up people being away with me. Already give and give and give. Did you get my email? I don't know. I don't think I've gotten it. I haven't checked email in a couple of days though, so I'm behind. Carson's birthday, the wedding, it's all, ooh, it's getting me. She said, I'm not none of the lower vibration, but I can't force people to like me. No, you can't force people to like you, but do you celebrate others? Like, for example, do you have friends and I don't know, something good happens in their life, and are you the first to congratulate them and be like, hey, that's so cool. I'm so happy for you. Or, and don't take this the wrong way, don't shoot the messenger. Or are you more focused on your troubles than you are someone else's celebration? That's what I just. So a lot of times, and don't get upset, but it's just, I mean, we all do it. So like for me, if I'm struggling in life and something and I'm upset, like it's hard for me to go, oh yay, I'm glad that person's happy and that they're doing something good if I'm struggling with something personal. Does that make sense? So the message I'm getting from spirit is something like that. Like, even if you're going through a challenging time, like it's, I don't know, it's going to be important that you celebrate others, that you congratulate others, that you maybe take the focus off your trouble or worry or something like that and put it on their good thing, right? Something like that. All right, let me pull up your chart real quick. Paloma Faith. Have you guys ever heard of Paloma Faith? And Dina, I have your chart. And I just want to make sure I have March 4th and I have 4:23 p.m. Does that sound right? March 4th. And you don't have to say it. 4:23 p.m. That's so weird. Maybe it's the opposite then. So if you're like, no, there's no way, Rosa, I do that all the time, like excessively so, then spirit's going to be the opposite, right? You need to stop doing that so much, right? I see the Facebook mod. That's pretty cool. Yes. And the energy's there. So if you ever get a reading that's like so opposite like that, the person's reading the energy. It's just going to be, I believe that it was this way, and you're saying no, it's the opposite way, right? But it's still the same energy. All right, Dina, do you mind if we share your chart? Let me get a screenshot. And we don't have to, but let me know. I think it's cool to look at other people's, all the different stuff. The song is called Only Love Can Hurt Like This. She says, I'm trying to figure out why I'm so drained and care too much by that reading. Because it either hits some harsh truth, or, like you said, it's the complete opposite. You need to stop doing excessively, right? Well, I'm just saying, you have Venus and Mercury practically conjunct. Is that Nama? Nama! Yeah, you have Venus in Aries at 12 degrees and Mars in Aries at 6 degrees. Girl, your inner masculine and feminine are always at oh, what's the word? Like, I imagine that standoff energy, like you probably feel that pretty regularly. Your masculine and your feminine, you could deal with this as well in like like in other aspects, but like in your relationships. And I do too, honestly. My Venus, Dina, is right on the cusp of my Pisces, and then Aries is the next sign. And then I have Mercury and Mars. So Mercury is really the only thing between my Venus and my Mars. And again, my Venus is in the cusp of Pisces. So it's almost in Aries, just like yours. Almost. I have this issue in relationships where I want to be right. And I know that's normal. Lots of people do, right? Everybody wants to be right, but for me, it's excessive. It's excessive, especially like a karmic relationship, unhealthy. I've not had a healthy relationship, so I don't know what it would be like to not. Like, I assume that being in a healthy relationship is like a team, right? We work together, we have the same goals, right? I watch over you, you watch over me, I got your back, you got my back. I'm assuming that's what a healthy relationship looks like. I've not experienced that in my lifetime yet. Hoping to, right? Fingers crossed. Um, but in the relationships I have experienced, the karmic lessons, lots of karmic relationships, right? Um, it was definitely an I'm right, you're wrong, right? Like that was a big issue that they wanted to be right, I want to be right. One, who cares, right? But in my karmic relationships, that was something that happened all the time. We were never on a team, right? It's like we weren't on the same team. We were opposing each other. So that could also happen in your relationships as well. Again, because it's 6 degrees difference. And here's the thing about astrology. Now you know that, right? Now you know that. So if that is the case and that does happen, then you could maybe, because a lot of times I wasn't right, right? But it's just this attitude, this habit that I have, right? So now I know this about myself. I can second, I can look at it again. I can take a moment, step back. Am I really right about this before I go all gung ho about it, right? You see what I'm trying to say? And so it's happening a lot less in my relationships because I am now aware of the closeness between my masculine and my feminine energies. Does that make sense? She says, I thought that too. A relationship is a partnership, but I have not had that. Same, me neither. Me neither, girl. The load has always been on me. Same. Pretty much dominated. Same, same. And my masculine, absolutely. They were always receive, absolutely. Yes. It is sad. I wouldn't say embarrassing because you're healing from that. I think what would be more embarrassing is if you finish this lifetime never knowing that and never healing that, right? That would be more embarrassing, I would think, anyway. It's weird how hard we are on ourselves. I was talking about something. I had a miscarriage a long, long time ago when I was younger, and in the middle of my babies, and I I had forgotten, and I had not talked about it. But I remembered that embarrassed feeling, like when it happened. I was in a poor environment. I was in a very unhealthy, abusive relationship, physically abusive relationship. That's not what caused the miscarriage. I mean, I'm sure that it had part to do with it. The stress alone, right? But I felt embarrassed by it, and so I didn't talk about it, and I didn't want to tell people. And there's things that we go through in our lives that like we shouldn't be embarrassed by, right? Does that make sense? I hope so. All right. Anyway, let's get to the full moon part stuff. We haven't even got to that part. Okay, moon in Scorpio at 24 degrees. And here's something else I'm learning, guys, about these charts. If you look at the charts, you'll notice the degrees, the numbers, right, that they're placed in. So it starts at 0 and goes to 29. So if you have a lower number degree, that means that you're new to that sign. So you're learning all the things, right? If you have a higher number degree, that means you're mastering that sign, right? Um, so Dina, you have a Scorpio moon. So, and it's at 24 degrees. So a Scorpio moon hides their emotion. That's what Scorpio does. They hide, right? They're in the dark. That's Scorpio. It's the darkness. Um, so the closer to the 0 degree, the more you hide your emotion. The closer to the 29 degree, the more you no longer hide that shit and you're willing to show it to the world, right? Which is the healthier way of doing it, right? So I thought that's pretty. First thing I noticed was pretty cool. All right, let me get to what I'm supposed to be looking at. So I noticed you have no planets, no nothing in your sixth house. So and it is going to be Aquarius. So a lot of people believe that if a house is empty, that you don't have to worry about that specific area in your life. I am against the grain on that because I'm the complete opposite. I believe that it's the complete opposite of that. I believe if you don't have planets in that house to help and assist you with their energy, then you're having to work extra hard. And I also think it's important to look at, so sixth house is normally Virgo. Um, and so uh, it's important to look at what ruler would be for the sixth house, where it's placed on your chart when that house is empty, right? And then you also have Aquarius. Um, so you're looking at Mercury, you're looking at Uranus, and you're looking at Saturn. These are the planets that you would look at on your chart to see how this full moon is impacting your life personally. But if I was to give you just a quick general, we're doing a live, right? The first thing I would ask, okay, so sixth house is health and routines. So you're in your middle of your spiritual awakening right now. So let's look at Dina before spiritual awakening. Was Dina before spiritual awakening, were you good with things like being on time? Did you have good like time management structure? Did you have like daily routines? Were you healthy? That type of thing. And then look at Dina after spiritual awakening. Are you more healthy now that you're awakened? Are your routines more disciplined now that you're awakened? Are you more on time now that you're awake? Does that make sense to you? Excuse me. She says that's why I had to get the divorce, cut the generational curse. Yes. Okay, so I feel like that's probably the case. You probably weren't the healthiest before spiritual awakening. Now your health is important. She says yes. Okay, so this Aquarius full moon is going to show you, Dina, you personally, in your life based on your chart, where those planets are placed that we just mentioned, and where Aquarius is for you. It's going to spotlight how you can show others how to be healthy, how to heal the body. Well, it's not just the body because it's health in general. It could be physical health, mental health, spiritual health. But the point of Aquarius is mass people. Um, you're going to come up, this new moon, this full moon is going to show you a new way to show people how to be healthy, how to heal, how to be more disciplined in their daily practices. This full moon could show you, Dina, where you're dropping the ball, where you need to put more effort, or where, because it's Saturn and Uranus. It could also be showing you like where there's no such thing as too disciplined, but you can be like too hard on yourself, and it could definitely be illuminating where you're being too hard on yourself. I just saw a mirror in my mind, so this could have something to do with like physical appearance, like maybe you're too hard on yourself when you look in the mirror, that type of thing. Um, that this full moon is going to illuminate that for you as well. It has Lilith and Pallas. I love that. Okay, so those are well, except for Lilith is the Black Moon. Pallas is so they're uh, uh, asteroids that are between that, and the reason that we use them is because they're between two planets, and they stay in the gravitational pull of the two planets. So that's how come we're able to use, like, that's how come they don't go off, and we're able to use them in our charts. So she's saying that her sixth house is actually not empty because it has um Sirius and Lilith in her sixth house. But again, still not the um, astrological bodies that like rule or impact that section of the chart. Does that make sense? Not saying they're not important; they're very important, but they don't impact like a certain section or like that particular or a certain house. It almost says 5:55 on the clock. All right. So I feel like the best guidance for your Aquarius full moon, Dina, don't be too hard on yourself, especially if it's physical appearance. You're super beautiful. And try to come up with a new way on how you can show the mass people. We're looking at mass people, Aquarius, humanitarian energy, um, how to be healthier or healed or healthy in all those areas, right? Whatever one you know more about, try to come up with a new way of showing other people how to do that. All right. I hope that was helpful. She says, well, I was told I was not physically fit to be on camera. Who says that? It's being highlighted by the moon. Oh, I don't know. I see all kinds of people on camera. One, who's the ruler or like the judge that gets to say like who's physically fit enough to be on camera, right? I'd like to know who that is. Erica says, I'm so curious about my Lilith and Chiron. Oh my gosh, Chiron is up there making some moves right now, y'all. We don't talk about Chiron as much as we should. Um, the Astro Link, Erica, that Sandra was talking about earlier, that's where you're going to get your best Lilith and Chiron information. It's called Astro Link. All right, Dina. I love you. I hope that was helpful. All right, guys. Who's next? Tell me. Tell me in the chat. And if you already wrote it, I'm sorry. You got to do it again. This is fun though, right? All right. Let me go. Let me take her chart down. And there we go. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm gonna not comment right now on that. I was just telling a friend of mine that I'm going. Oh, it was Nama. I was just telling Nama. I'm going through a spell where I'm super frustrated with the I don't know, male population, and so yeah, I just have no comments. Chelsea says I'd like a chart reading. I have Nama's chart. Chelsea, do I have your chart? Have I done? Have you gotten a birth chart reading from me? Let me pull them up. I don't think I have yours. If I don't have yours, if you have it, um, you can send it to me. You can email it to me. You can send it to me on Messenger on Facebook. Whatever is easiest, and then I can go grab it that way. All right, let me get Nama's. Nama, do we want tarot or do we want both? Are we just gonna do both tonight for all of them? Is that what we should do? Oh, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Dina. And guys, energy exchange is hanging out with me. You're hanging out. You're giving me view duration, and that's how I get paid over on YouTube is view duration. Um, I know people like to think that, YouTubers are paid by their views or subscriber counts, but that's not the case. I mean, it definitely helps to have, more higher views and more people. But I could have 1 million subscribers and then I could have 1,000 subscribers. And if I have, 600 out of that 1,000 watch my videos and my live streams and go back and replay and watch on a regular basis, but out of my 1 million, I only have 100 people that do that. The person that has the less subscribers is going to get the higher paycheck. Does that make sense? It's view duration. So the longer you hang out with me in these lives, the bigger my paycheck is. Right? Mama says, do what you do. I'm like Clay. All right, let's do the chart first, and then we'll. That's not true. I wanted to do the chart first, but Spirit says we're going to do the reading first. So let's do the reading. Something in the orange is playing. I know Mercury goes direct on, what is it, the 11th? And I know that we like to think that it's over, but there are peak moments with Mercury retrograde, Nama, at the beginning and the end. And that's why they talk about those shadow periods. So I just want to say, Nama, here's my psychic. Are you ready? Um, you could have someone from, oh, wait, you already did. Dang it. Now I don't want to use it because that may have been it, and you already told me. Okay, but the song is playing, and the song is called "There's Something in the Orange," and it's talking about how someone from the like way past like reemerges because there's something that wasn't finished with that person, and it's like something has to happen so it can completely come to like completion or closure, or you can just move on, right? And I was fixing to say, like, you're gonna have somebody that's gonna happen, but I feel like you just told me that already happened. All right, Aquarius Full Moon. First thing I want to look at is how you can express yourself more. We have King of Wands coming out. That's pretty easy, Nama. It just means that you need to be more courageous, braver, um, feel like courage and strength in behind your words when you speak. I'm hearing something. So when you speak, your words, your voice shouldn't crack or tremble. You should know that you have like the Almighty, you know what I'm saying, behind you. So your words should be strong. There should be strength behind your voice. There's something about that as well. All right. How you can inspire others. All right, so we have the Five of Wands coming out. Ooh, That's a tough one. Page of Pentacles on the bottom. That's easy now. Okay. So you can, Arizona Sky is on. I love the Arizona Sky. Thank you, Chelsea. I'll pull it up right after Nama's. Um, okay, I'm getting distracted. Okay. The Five of Wands is here. How you can inspire others. The Aquarius Full Moon is going to illuminate a new way for you to show people or teach people how to get out of a challenging situation, how to start over, Ace of Pentacles, after a challenging situation. It could also show you a new way of breaking free from a challenging situation. It's almost like you inspire yourself, and then that in turn inspires others. Interesting. All right, let's pull the guidance card. And remember, how can you align to your ideal world? Seven of Pentacles. Be patient. um, that's actually not true. Okay. So, Seven of Pentacles, it is the be patient card. And you do need more patience. We all do, right? But, and that will help you align to the ideal world. But your ideal world, okay, so in the Seven of Pentacles in Llewellyn Tarot, he's standing there looking at a fruit tree. It's a very abundant, lush fruit tree. There's so many fruits. And it's got pinnacles up in the tree as well, right? And the idea of Seven of Pentacles is that you've done a lot of work and you're not finished yet. You're almost finished, because remember the Eight of Pentacles is you're almost finished. So it's like you're almost finished, but you've done enough work, excuse me, that you can start to harvest some of your reward. So, how can you align with your ideal world with this particular Aquarius full moon? Spirit's saying you've already done some of the work. You already have some fruit. There's fruit in the basket. Like you can already start to harvest something. Something's already like growing. If it's money, it's like it's already making money, right? It's that type of energy. Now, here's the thing about the Seven of Pentacles. It's going to be really important when you receive this energy, like you've created something and it's giving you a little bit of fruit. It's just at the beginning, there's going to be more fruit, so you don't want to overpick, right? You know how if you overpick the fruit tree, then there's no more fruit, it doesn't grow any more fruit, the fruit doesn't get any bigger. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you don't want to overpick something, but there's something there that you can get a little bit of now. All right, let's pull up your charts. Erica says, posting this at 11:04 to see how delayed my comments are. I see 10:06. So 11:06. It did show up on my screen at 10:05. So 1 minute. It might just be me, guys. It goes super fast over here, and I'm not really like I'm focusing on my phone, the chart, the cards. So it might just be me, Erica. We can do. I'm not in no hurry to go anywhere. So I mean, I'll it's Saturday night. I'm trying to be like, you know, responsible and good and stay in my safe room and all those things. I could have went bowling today. I could have done a lot of other things. I said bowling. That's just so bad. But I mean, like I could have went out in public. You know what I'm saying, on a Saturday night, and I just chose to bring my butt home. All right, Nama, let me get your chart up. Nama is our resident Aquarius. So how's this full moon working out, Nama? I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Oh, no. Nama, it's okay if I share your chart on the screen. I'll get it out. Share your chart on the screen. Let me know. Erica says almost 2 minutes by the time I see responses. Ooh, that's interesting. I don't know why it's doing that. Was it over just on Facebook? Did you just come over to YouTube, or is it doing it on YouTube too? Oh, it has to be YouTube because Diana's on YouTube. Sweet, thank you, Mama. All right, this is fun. Isn't it fun? And I want to do stuff like this where we pull up these charts and we look at like a specific placement, and like I can tell you so much different stuff from your birth chart. Like you would not believe the things that you can find on your chart. All right, so you should be able to see Nama's chart. All right, Nama. You got Virgo moon in the ninth house. So not only are you an Aquarius sun, but your moon is in the ninth house. Aquarius is the natural ruler of the ninth house. No, it's not. It's eighth house. Sorry, that's my bad. I was like, oh my gosh, you're having a rough full moon. I'm saying that's still pretty close. I feel like it's still super emotional. Okay. And I just want to point out it's not it's not exactly, but like for example, my grandson Carson was born on a new moon. He was born on the Leo new moon. So when he was born, the sun and the moon are together on his chart. Notice how yours are apart. So you were born almost on a full moon. See that? So that already tells me that the full moons impact you more. Does that make sense? Like new moons probably come and go and you don't even realize they happen. But a full moon, you're gonna feel it all of them every time. All right, so since it is the first, okay, so mm, okay, so Nama, this full moon is illuminating what you value, your things, such as your home, your car, um, that type of stuff, material things. Um, Dang, this one's hard. Second one got me. I mean, it's not that it's hard, but it's because your sun is in Aquarius, so it's like the sun is in Leo now. I feel like this full moon is going to cause you to make a brave, bold, courageous decision that has to do with your assets, your home, your car, your things. I think that there could also be some illumination. I know your eighth house is empty, but your sun is opposite your eighth house, which is the natural ruler. Aquarius is the natural ruler. So, excuse me, with this full moon, you could also be like it's being shown to you, spotlight again, illuminated, um, resources that are like family resources. Um, Something that could be shown to you with this full moon is like someone in your family could have resources that could help you, or maybe even should be yours or partially yours, something like that. Um, because it's shared resources, the eighth house. It's also like, what is it you get when people pass away? What's that called? I never can remember this word. Oh my gosh. Inheritance. It's also the like the house of inheritance. So there, like this full moon could show you where like something's being hidden from you or kept from you that could help you in this time right now that you're needing when you're having to make this courageous whatever with this full moon. Another thing I can tell you about this full moon in your chart is that this full moon is causing you to make these courageous changes with things that you value, like your home, your things, in front of people, in front of a lot of people. And whoever you're dealing with on the opposite side, like whoever could help you but isn't helping or is hiding something or holding something back from you, um, like that could be illuminated to a lot of people as well. Like that could be shown to a lot of people as well. I'm getting like you're like who would you like who I don't like talk, especially when people are still alive. Like I don't think I don't know. It's a whole issue. That's why I can't remember the word. But like, who would you be getting an inheritance from? Like, is it your parents? Is it your grandparents? Is it like some family member? Is it someone that's like wealthy or has the means of helping you get out of some situation, but is like choosing not to for some reason? You see what I'm trying to say? Like, this full moon could illuminate that. And that's going to be specific to you because your sun is in Aquarius. Another thing I can tell you about this full moon is you may have, well, it's not May because you have Pluto in your 11th house. So this right now, August 9th, 2025, you are ending friendships. Like there are friendships that are coming to a complete closure. It could be a group of people as well. It doesn't have to be like just a friend. It could be like a group of friends. And I know that doesn't sound great. Like, oh my gosh, why do I have to, leave this group of friends? It's because a new and better, more supportive group of friends is on the way, right? Remember, when something ends, it's removed, something new takes its place, right? She says, my grandparents are long gone. My parents still alive, thank God. Yes. Well, but I can't picture your parents not helping you. So is there someone, what about siblings? Is there someone in competition for resources? Something like that could be illuminated with this full moon. So I feel like for you, it's a little bit different than like when we did Dina's. For you, what's is like there's something being hidden. It's the eighth house, so it's like there's something being hidden that has to do with like resources, um, windfalls, inheritance. Somebody could have gotten something and like a resource and just didn't tell the other person. Like there could be someone in your family that has like let's say you're looking to move, right? And there could be like someone that has a house they haven't told you about. It's stuff like that. So I feel like you're gonna have to be courageous. It's got Leo energy. You're gonna have to find some serious courage to face some hidden, some resource being illuminated to you that has been hidden and kept from you. And I think it's also possible that and I know it's not just possible because we've been talking about it. Contemplation of moving. The interesting part is that you value your home. So that's going to be a challenge. So if you're feeling like I want to move, but I don't want to move, you want to move because of whatever reason, but you don't want to move because you value your home. And maybe you didn't value your home before. Does that make sense? She's not my family. We're all very supportive. Well, I just want you to, if some long lost uncle pops up in the next 2 weeks and comes and tells you about some resource they have that you didn't know about, you best call me. You better get on the messenger and come straight to me and tell me, Rosa, because I'm telling you, it's all those things. It's family, it's resources, it's inheritance, and it's hidden. That's the whole point of the full moon, is illuminating something hidden. So just pointing that out. All right. It could also just mean that someone has a little bit more money you didn't know, right? Somebody could have a little more resource of something. It doesn't have to be money. You didn't know. Maybe you talk to no, it has to be resources. I was gonna say, I mean, empathy could be a resource. I was gonna say, like, maybe you talk to a family member about a situation you're going through, and they're more compassionate than you expected them to be, right? It could be something like that, something as simple as that, but I don't think so. I think it's way bigger. All right, that's all I got. So that's enough. That one was hard because her son, it's like you have to flip the chart, and I can't, my mind don't work that way. The song that's playing says something about in the same four walls. Says you were digging a grave for me, but it's the house is burning down. It's talking about people, a family that live in a home, and someone has they're hiding something. They don't want other people to know. So I'm just saying, how interesting, Nama. There's gonna be something. You better get your investigator hat on. All right, Erica. Erica sent birth chart. Okay, no, Chelsea. It was Chelsea. All right, let me pull up Chelsea's chart real quick. This is making my neighbor. Oh God, no. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I've never seen one like this. I've seen where they have two, you know what I mean? But I've never seen all three. I've seen that's not true. I seen a fire one time that had the top three placements were fire signs. But I want to say they were different fire signs, like Aries and Sagittarius. Like you literally have all three in Capricorn. That's just freaking amazing. And Spirit is testing me tonight. I was like, oh, let's do these live astrology readings. It's like, here, I'll show you. Oh, maybe, Nama. I don't know. That's kind of creeping me out. All right, so Chelsea has her sun, moon, and rising. I mean, right in Capricorn. That is just wow. Oh my gosh, and Uranus. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Oh my gosh. So your sun, moon, and rising. Okay, one Capricorn is the goat. So Chelsea, you're either this is going to be a one or the other because I haven't studied your chart a whole lot and I don't know you really well. So you're either someone who goes through life victim consciousness. Oh, poor me. Everything happens hard to me all the time. Or, are you ready? Or, I'm going to go with this one with these three sitting in Capricorn. You're a badass. You're just badass. People probably look at you and go, how did you get through that? How did you finish that? How did you accomplish that? And you probably have more challenges, more things against you as you push through and persevere through life than most people do on a regular, everyday thing. You see what I'm trying to say? Like you experience more obstacles and challenges because remember Capricorn. This is the thing people forget about Capricorn. People think Capricorn is a goat, and it is part of it. Front part of Capricorn is a goat. It has the goat head and the two goat legs. But the back end of Capricorn is not the goat. It's a fish. Yeah, that's a fish tail. It's the Pisces fish tail back there. Okay. So the idea is that Capricorn is the goal always climbing a mountain, right? So you're climbing the mountain. The mountain is challenges, it's the life, right? So as you're climbing the mountain and you're experiencing the challenges, your goat keeps going slow and steady, climbing the mountain over one obstacle, over the next obstacle, over the next obstacle until it reaches the top, right? That's the idea. But what no one keeps in mind is that that Capricorn goat climbed that mountain and overcame all those obstacles with only two legs. That's right, you heard me. With only two legs. Can you picture a goat climbing a mountain with only two legs? And it's dragging that fish body. You see what I'm saying? Up this mountain like dead weight. You understand? So when I say Capricorn is a goat, like they're the true goat, right? Like they're the ones that are going to go after something, persevere. And if they don't play victim consciousness, there's no competing against them. They are going to beat you every single time because they don't quit, right? So she says, yes, I don't play victim. So that means people have looked at you your entire life, the entire being of this existence in this lifetime, and went, oh my God, Chelsea, how did you get through that? How did you accomplish that? How did you persevere? How did you make it? How are you still okay? How do you still smile? How are you still willing to love people? She says, I will always find a solution to the problem, whether I like it or not. That's facts. That's Capricorn. So that, okay, that is just your sun, moon, and rising. But you also have Uranus there. Y'all, Uranus is, oh my God. One, it's the modern ruler of Aquarius. Um, so I'm just saying this full moon is shaking you as well. I mean, it's shaking your foundation to the core. Um, but Uranus is the planet that brings upheaval. It is Uranus is the lightning bolt that you see striking the tower on the tower card. Do you see what I'm saying? It brings explosion, implosion. It brings, it's like you build a house and a tornado comes and tears it down. So you build a new house and another tornado comes and tears it down. So you build another house and yet another tornado comes and builds it down. So I just got done telling you that people look at you and go, oh my God, how did you do this thing? Take that and multiply it times 1,000. You see what I'm trying to say? She said, oh, you have no idea. I got a feeling. I got a feeling that I got a pretty good idea. Because you're climbing that mountain with every single obstacle, one after another, more obstacles than most people know in their lifetime, plus having one major explosion blow up after another, right? So you know what that tells me? Like, you could be someone, like you could be like a doctor, a surgeon, a nurse, a firefighter, a police officer, a paramedic, that would be a good one. um you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you're one of these people that can maintain and again persevere in times of crisis. Uranus is crisis. You know what I'm saying? Like, in times of, oh my God, what is happening? You can persevere. But here's what I know about that, Chelsea. This is where the shadow side, or like the darker side, comes in. Is you can persevere in those times, but you will break down like no other after it's over. So after the crisis is over, after you've made it, you've done it, you've done things that seem inhuman and most people would not be able to accomplish. After you've accomplished it, that's when you will break down. That's when you will experience what most people experience through the process. It's like you store it, you hold it, and then you have this massive release afterwards, right? All right, let me get to the moon stuff. Have mercy. I get so excited looking at everybody's chart. All right. Okay. Let's see. Second house, which is super interesting in itself. So again, material things, what you value, what's important to you, what you take care of. The fact that you have Saturn here is going to be really important because remember, you have the Capricorn. Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. So that tells me a couple of things too. So that tells me that, so this full moon may not necessarily be rocking your world as much as I thought. Um, because if you are practicing your self discipline, if you are going through spiritual awakening, um, what happens is when you go through spiritual awakening, okay, a spiritual awakening is a breakdown of the mind. Okay, that's the simplest way to say it. You have two options, okay? When you go through a breakdown of the mind, okay? You can go to a doctor and they can give you a bunch of medication and they can tell you to take this medication at certain times, and that medication can help you balance back out, okay? That's one way. You can also have a breakdown of the mind and you can say, I'm going to take a more holistic approach and I'm going to do more, like I'm going to take more practical action. This is where you get, excuse me, where you get into things like journaling, shadow work, yoga, the somatic workout, all this type of stuff, breath work, right? That's what it's like, that's in place of the medication that the other person went to the doctor to take, right? So those are your two options when you have the breakdown of the mind or a spiritual awakening, okay? When you are in alignment with your soul's journey, it doesn't mean that you're not experiencing any problems. And it doesn't mean that you're not experiencing any obstacles. It means that when you're in alignment, you're able to face those challenges and get through those challenges or over those obstacles in a healthy manner, right? That's what alignment is. Saturn on your chart will tell you how it's easier for you to be disciplined or how it's easier for you to get into alignment, right? So for you, Chelsea, and you already said I'm not the victim. So that tells me you're in higher consciousness, you're in higher vibration, you're in you're not in dark night of the soul. You have overcome dark night of the soul, and you most likely are integrating what you've learned through your spiritual awakening, which means that you have spiritual practices like all those things I mentioned earlier, right? Or you go to therapy and you see a doctor and you take medication, whichever one. I'm not judging, it doesn't matter as long as we're healing, right? I personally, it was really important for me to take the holistic approach just because of all the drug usage in my family and the um, all drugs have like a usage, right? Unless you're like making chemicals together. But most drugs have like a usage, and if they're used properly, then whatever their usage is for, then that's what it works for, right? But look, let's use pot for example. But we as humans, we overuse, right? We get too greedy, and now we're smoking blunts all day, left and right, right? And now we can't. We're drooling and we're sleeping all day, and we can't function because we overdid something. Does that make sense? Like, so when you're going through spiritual awakening and you are in alignment and you're either however you're doing it, whether medical through the doctor or holistic, practices yourself, and you're disciplined and you're doing it how you're supposed to be doing it, you'll get through all those challenges a lot easier. They'll still be there, but they won't hinder you or slow you down because you've integrated what you've learned and you use those steps to get through those challenges and obstacles. I have no idea what music is playing on my thing right now, but it's freaking me out. But anyway, so that tells me, Chelsea, that if you're having spiritual awakening and you're going through your daily practices and you're staying in alignment, then this full moon may not necessarily be that bad of a full moon, right? Like it's not really like shaking your foundation. It may be showing you a few things where you need to like dot your I's and cross your T's, but it's not anything like the foundation. There's no lightning bolt hitting a tower, right? Like that's kind of what I'm getting there with Saturn in Aquarius. She says, "Oh yes, and when I come up on a bump in the road, I look at it as well. There isn't nothing I haven't made it out of, and stronger than before. So when they do pop up, I get ready for the ride and hold on." That is, God bless. That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. My goodness. She said, I have been through a lot, but I've been doing a lot better at handling my situation. Grateful, recovering addict here. So a lot of self-talk. Love it. Love it. I think we're all recovering from some form of addiction or another. All right. So um it is second house assets. So not only what you value, so things like your car and your home and material things, job money. Saturn being in your second house, when you do those things well, like when you budget your money well, um, when you clean your house, um, things like that, the universe gives you little gifts, right? You get little rewards. It's the same way with this full moon. You stay disciplined in your spiritual practices, and this full moon will give you rewards. Again, it may show you or I can say it eventually. Spotlight, um, where you might need to like dot your I's and cross your T's, but it's going to be very minimal. Very minimal. All right. I'm going to leave that there. I hope that was helpful. Also, because it's Aquarius full moon, which is all about teaching, service, humanitarian, this full moon may show you how to help others with their assets. So maybe you can show other people how to budget or how to value their bodies, right? Like how to exercise or, cleanse. I mean, anything like that. Erica says, I'm also trying to recover. All of us. All of us. I think my deadly deed was the vodka. I definitely had the issue there. Not anymore. No, I don't know how long it's been now, but like sober to the point that I don't even think about it and it doesn't bother me to be around other people that drink. I don't necessarily like it. Um, it's not like minds, right? But yeah, so we do heal. We do recover. And I don't know how many times I went back to drinking from the time that I said I was going to stop to there was even one point where I was like, I'm not an alcoholic. I can drink a little bit. I can drink socially and still be fine. I mean, there I was like telling myself all kinds of crazy stuff. She says I very much have it on my chart. We do. We do. It does addiction does show on our charts. Sandra says, I'd welcome a gander at my chart. All right, let's pull it up. Erica, did you email me your chart? Sandra, can I share your chart? Did I not share Chelsea's chart? I don't think I did. Forgot to hit the button. Nama, are you still with me live? really get into it, but I agree with that. It definitely gave me a little bit of like the goose pimples on the back of the neck. For sure. Okay, Eric. I just want to make sure I wasn't missing. I mean, we can pull it up like live right here too, if you want to. You don't have to. I don't want to feel like I'm pressuring anybody. All right, Sandra. Let me share Sandra's. Okay. I love this little share screen button. It's cool. So cool. When is that? See. I still haven't figured out all the new stuff over there. Look at this Chelsea sent party hat for 20 jewels. I don't know what that is, Chelsea, but I love you. Thank you so much. She said it was absolutely amazing. That's so cool. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but I'm super nervous. It's almost like I waited a whole year to hit the YouTube button. It's like I waited a whole year to. I feel like I've been ready for a year. I'm just nervous. You know what I mean? And there's still astrology is like one of those things where it's like I've learned this part. You know what I'm saying? But it's like there's so many parts, and you can take those parts and break them down 12 more times. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like there's so much I still don't know and like still need to learn. But I like that, like, I mean, I'm getting to go, I'm on a very specific type of spiritual awakening journey, and I'm getting to go study certain parts of astrology that deal with this type of awakening. So I'm learning about certain planets and placements, and then I can tell you about those planets and placements after I learn about them, right? That I think are a little bit more unique that maybe don't get talked about as much because people are focused on the other bigger things, right? Because they're not having this type of awakening. Okay, sweet. I will pull it up, Erica. Tell me, do we see Sandra's chart? Can you see Sandra's chart on the screen? Is that you, Vanessa? It tells me it's Purple Luna Rose. On Facebook, it says we were visualizing her chart. LOL. I'm so sorry. I got excited. I seen all the Capricorns, and then I was like, oh my god, it's just so rare. Has anybody seen Nama? I haven't seen Nama. I just want to make sure. I know it's the other side of the world over there, but girl, she worries me sometimes. Have mercy. All right, Sandra, let me get back to your chart. We do see it over there. KCMR is going to be new energy. Everybody, welcome KCMR. Welcome KCMR. All right, Sandra, your chart. KCMR. We're doing birth charts tonight. If you would like to share your birthday, we could do a birth chart reading. Wouldn't that be cool? All right, Sandra. And Jupiter. Woo. So it's making everything bigger. Okay, so yours is going to be first house. You also have Jupiter, so at 6 degrees. So that's telling me a couple things. This full moon, one, what's being illuminated for you, Sandra, is the self. I know it's going to seem whatever, but it's the physical body. This full moon is illuminating your physical body. It is the house of self. I get that. But for you personally, Sandra, it's the physical body. Where's your Pluto? Hmm. All right. And your Uranus is in Libra. The moon is in Libra. Hmm. So something about your body is out of balance, and that's what this moon is illuminating. It may actually show you something that's shocking about your body that is being illuminated. It may not just be shocking, but it may be emotional because you have the moon there. It's ninth house, so you could. It's new to you. You could have to travel with somewhere with this full moon, but it's like it's new information coming in for you. Again with the Jupiter, so it's like it's Jupiter. What Jupiter does is it expands everything, so it makes everything bigger. So take everything I'm saying again times 100, right? Also, with this full moon, you do have Leo seventh house, so you are having to be like really courageous. You're having to stand up for yourself and be courageous when it comes to your relationships. In fact, you could be experiencing some relationships that have a serious standoff. Remember, we were talking about that standoff energy. Well, I mean, I know you are because you're on a very you're on a very specific type of awakening. So I know you're experiencing that standoff. That's probably what it is. But I think this is more about your relationship with yourself. So this is more because again, house of self. So this is more you're experiencing an emotional standoff. I mean, it is twin flame. So I mean, of course, with that person, but more so internally with your own feminine, masculine, and feminine energies. This full moon is highlighting that. It's almost like you knew it, you were hiding it, and now it's bringing it to a surface. Um, with Saturn in your sixth house, I can pinpoint that all of everything I'm talking about, even the relationship part, even the standoff part, it's all going to boil down. Remember, sixth house is it's health, your health, daily routines, obsessiveness. All right, so here's what I got. You're going to have to courageously face something that has to do with health, that's shocking and new to you, it's new information coming in, could cause you to be emotional. Here's what I can tell you. Are you ready? Dang, I almost said something and got in trouble. Okay, I guess I can't say that. Dang it. I don't see why not. Here's the problem with health issues. Ready? I'll say it this way. God, I'll tell you what, I piss God off sometimes. We have free will. So I want to say something, and Spirit's like, no, you can't say that, or I'm not allowed to say that. Energy can change. Anything can happen at any moment. Okay, but here's something that two things. I don't talk about it because it's not up to me. It's up to God and you. And I'm not talking to Sandra. I'm just talking to everybody. But your chart tells you when it's coming to an end. Okay. Um, it also tells you. Well, that's enough. But another thing I want to say is a lot of times when we're dealing with health issues, you ever heard that saying, you can have 100 problems, but until you have a health issue, or when you have a health issue, then you suddenly only have one problem. You ever heard that? So a lot of times with health, and this is why a lot of times I'm not allowed to do readings for health purposes. Like, this is why, because a lot of times with health things, it says sound is lost. That's bad. Is it back? Is it better now? Sound is lost on Facebook. That's bad. I can't make one. They're all three at the same time. But sound is on YouTube. All right, let's make a note. Um, can you go back to Facebook and put on there that if they're having trouble with sound, that we have sound on YouTube and Twitch, just in case. It's going to be a Facebook issue. There's nothing I can do. Now, if we had lost sound on all three platforms, that'd be a me issue, and then that'd be something I'd have to fix. But I can't fix it if it's just one platform. So just if you could just jump back over to Facebook and just put on there, if you have no sound, please join us. Maybe share the link. That would help. Oh, it's back. Okay, so maybe whatever. It's just a glitch. They fixed it. But thank you for telling me. The health thing. Okay, a lot of times, like, if me, like, I'm trying not to exaggerate here, I feel like 99% of the time when we humans have a health problem or health issue or health scare, we go and meet our mind goes immediately to worst case scenario. We never ever stop to break. Well, maybe Chelsea does. Chelsea might. But for the most part, we don't break down the steps that it takes to get from where we're at presently to worst case scenario. We never break it down. We never go, oh, I can take this medication, or I can change my diet, or I can lose some weight, or I can exercise, or I can walk more, we never do that stuff. We just go immediately from, I have this health concern, to what's the worst thing that can happen to me with this health concern. And let's say you're not someone who goes to the doctor regularly, so you don't know what your physical health looks like. You don't know what the numbers look like. You don't know what your lab works look like because you don't go regularly. So what happens then? Your worst case scenario is doomsday. You see what I'm trying to say here? Does that make sense, Sandra? So this full moon is showing you something with your health that's going to be shocking, surprising. You're not going to see it coming. You're going to have to learn about it because you're not going to know much about it. It's going to cause you to be emotional, but don't go to the point where you're doomsdaying it, she. You see what I'm trying to say? don't don't skip the steps. There's going to be steps. Whatever it is, you're not the first person. That's another thing that helps me a lot through like just life in general is I'm never the first person to experience something. It's never going to be the case. Okay. I'm not, unless you're Adam that was born the very first human being specimen. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, you're not going to be the first one. There's going to be other people. There's going to be records. There's going to be things you can research, things you can learn. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know what the health scare is, but I can tell just by looking at your chart that this full moon, so either it's already happened and it was a couple of days ago, or it's happening right now, or it's going to happen a couple of days from now. Regardless, there's going to be, like, did you say, what does that say? Did you say you have an appointment? Because I want to say you told me you were going to make an appointment. Either way, whatever it is, when they're talking to you and telling you, hey, your lab is this, do not go straight to worst case scenario. Stay calm, stay logical, and start asking questions, right? Like, what does that mean? What's my next step? What do I need to work on? You see what I'm trying to say? Definitely like that. All right, I'm gonna leave that there. I hope that was helpful. It's hard to do health ones because people will just freak out. I gave Vanessa the death card one time in the Blessed Bee Oracle, and I could see the white in her face clear from overseas. You know what I'm trying to say? I love you, Vanessa. But it's like, I don't know. Sometimes like we just go worst case scenario instead of, what are the steps between there? You know what I'm saying? She says, I've already cut out dark sodas and I've been drinking lots of more water. Is it a kidney thing? Because my kidneys just literally caught fire before I read your thing about the soda. And if it is, let me tell you a little something. Um, oh, you just had the friend too. Oh, I bet that does. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Let me tell you a story. Um, when I was younger, I believe, okay, when I was still in my mom's custody, I think I was like 12 years old. This would have been right about the time that I went to go live with my grandma. I actually lived with my aunt for a little bit before we got me situated at my grandpa's. But at the very end of being with my mom, I had to go to the doctor because I was having like extreme back pain. I was having my kidneys were inflamed. I mean, I don't know what the words. Just a lot sharp, horrendous pain. Um, I also was a big soda drinker. Um, but I think it's more for me. I remember the doctor saying like this is a genetic situation, like it's something in my genes. Um, but I had to be more cautious because of it. So like your kidneys are a filter, right? They filter the toxins in your body, and then uh, you pee them out, right? Like you excrete them out of your body. So if your kidneys can't pump out the toxin or filter the toxins, then the toxins stay stored in the kidney, and then what happens is okay. So what happened to me was I had to have my kidneys flushed. Okay. Um, I want to say I've heard him call it something else. Like there's a medical term for it. But what they did was I had this like this stuff that they pump these like straight into your kidneys. Um, I want to say it's like a charcoal, but I don't really remember if it's charcoal or not. It was so long ago. I feel like I haven't talked about it in so long. I'm sure you can Google it. There's a thing that they can do, a medical, where they go in and they flush your kidneys out, and it kind of like almost scrapes the inside. It cleans all the like tarry substance that's stuck in there. Um, by the time I was 16, I had it done 3 times. The third time, the doctor was not as nice as the first time. Um, he was really upset. And I remember him talking to my grandpa, and talking about how concerning it was that we weren't taking the fact that I had this done 3 times seriously, when most people go their whole lives and never have it done once. So it was a big deal at 16 that I start drinking water, that I start cleansing my body, that I don't pump things like the sugar and the syrups from the sodas. All of this stuff, it was important. The medications that I took, there was so much stuff that goes into a healthy kidney, you wouldn't believe it. But I had to really start focusing on all this stuff, and that was at 16. Well, I'm going to tell you that I didn't. I did not do that. I continued to do all the bad things, drink all the, the bad things, the sodas, all the stuff that I wasn't supposed to have. I never had to have my kidneys flushed again. Knock on wood. I'll never have to ever again. I already know. But that's going to be more like, I know it's Lulu Lala again, but that's going to be like more divinely uh protected than I don't have the issue or didn't have the issue. Does that make sense? I no longer have back pain or any kidney problems whatsoever. But I drink water now too. Like, I rarely drink soda. So I get on these binges sometimes where I'll drink soda, but then I'll stop again, and then it's just mostly water. But like 90% of my days is water, 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 nonstop water. Somebody asked me the other day if I wanted a flavored water. I'm like, no, I know it sucks. I'm just going to take it how it is, right? She said, Erica says, in Chinese medicine, they say the kidney holds fear. That's probably actually really true, Erica. That's the whole point of me talking about my story about the kidneys. Okay, so all of us in here probably experience a lot of issues with our kidneys. That is going to be a collective situation, and that is going to be, again, the specific type of spiritual awakening journey that we're on. And we all experience a certain type of fear. It's not just fear in general. Okay, it's going to be a certain type of fear. Um, it's going to be things that have to do with physical abuse, that type of fear. So it would make sense that collectively, one, collectively, we've all been in abusive relationships. Two, we all deal with lower back pain. Three, we've all had some kidney issue or another. You see what I'm trying to say? UTIs, yep, all of that, all of it. That's going to be really collective for everybody at PLR. Again, that's something I don't have to deal with anymore as well. Um, One thing I learned in my spiritual awakening, a little Lulu Lala for you. We've been Lulu Lala all night long, but I'm gonna make a T-shirt. It says Lulu Lala. But, I have been learning for the last probably 6 months, a good solid 6 months, that the body heals itself. The body heals itself. I'm not making that up. Again, Google, research, talk to a doctor. The body heals itself. There are things that we have to do in order to activate that healing, of course, and I'm ready to do those things. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I feel I was just telling my future daughter-in-law, I was like, this is probably the best I have felt physically since like high school. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know how to. Now I still have aches and pains. I cannot handle the heat whatsoever. Like this summer, I was out in the heat with my job, and it was horrendous. Oh my gosh, there was a couple of times where I know I got way too hot. Um, but like things like UTIs, things like anxiety, things like, you know what I'm saying? I just don't deal with it anymore. I just don't have that issue. It's just not there anymore. And I've just done the things in all the different situations. I needed to cleanse that area of my body. Now, like I was saying earlier, I was just telling my future daughter-in-law, I was like, this is probably the best that I have felt physically since high school. I'd like to feel better. I know I could still lose more weight. I could be more active. I know that I'm in perimenopause, so strength training is really important right now. My mental, it probably needs some more work, surely. The depression is something that I really liked it when I realized I could beat anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Like once I realized that like I could overcome anxiety and I would never experience that another day in my life again. That was an amazing feeling. It was like freaking a magic trick, right? All of a sudden I was that David guy on the big stage and I was elevating. You know what I'm trying to say? But it's like when I realized that I can't do that with depression, well, that pissed me off. You know what I mean? It's like that pissed me off. And so now I don't know. And I even again have free will. And I have all that Aries energy. Aries is the fighter. So if you didn't know, Aries, Mars, the warrior, right? Go to battle type of thing. Um, I fight depression, but not like you would think. Um, like I fight depression like you think. I do the things that you have to do for self care and self love and all that kind of stuff. But I also do this weird thing. I noticed it like this last cycle. Because depression for me comes in waves, right? Like it's like I'll go through it, I'll get through it, and then I'll be fine for a little while, and then it comes back, and then I'll go through it, and I get through it, and then I'll be fine for what I'm trying to say. It's like in waves. But anyway, because I know I can't stop it, depression is a different type of monster. It's not like anxiety or all those other labels. Depression is like a for real monster. And so what I do, and I'm not telling anybody to do this, y'all. Don't just I'm just being vulnerable and authentic and sharing a truthful moment with you. But what I've noticed I do when the wave of depression comes, I can sense it pretty far off. Like I can start to tell that I'm starting to slack on certain things or I'm starting to talk to myself a certain way, or I can just kind of tell. Like I can see that bitch coming from miles. But what I'll do is I'll let it get closer and closer and closer till the cloud is literally over my head. I can't see anything but the rain cloud, and I am in the thick of it before I will get out of the bed, stand up, and start fighting it back. And the funny thing is, it's not funny. It's probably not good. It's probably not healthy. But it's like I'm proud of myself that I can do that. It's like you can't keep me down. You know what I'm saying? And it's like not only am I proud of myself that I can do that, but I'm proud of myself that I can, because when you get into, like, if you dealt with depression, when you get into the thick of it, the longer you stay in depression before you start doing the things to get out, the harder it is to get out, right? So, for example, if I stayed in bed all the time and I slept all the time, I mean, we can say whatever we want, that's depression, okay? So, if I know that I need to have a daily routine where I get up and function through society and my life, right? And then I stop doing those things, and then I stay in bed, and then now I'm not even getting up to brush my teeth anymore. I'm just in bed 24/7. I know that when that first day comes where I decide I'm going to get up this morning, I'm going to brush my teeth, I'm going to wash my face, I'm going to go out in the world, I'm going to be a productive member of society. When I get to that part, it's harder, right? It takes longer. It's a harder push, internal push to get up and do it, right? And it's like I've noticed this last time when the wave came, it was like I almost tested it. How long could I sit here before I got up to do something about it? You see what I'm trying to say? Again, I'm not telling anybody to do that. If you can smell depression coming, knock that bitch out before it gets anywhere close to you, right? But for me, I don't know. It's the Aries in me. It's like I want to fight that fucker. You know what I mean? I know. It's crazy. I'm crazy. It happens. Erica says, I went through lots of abuse. A lot of times it's need for different vitamins and minerals. Yes, that's true too. That's another thing too, is like I know that I have the vitamin D deficiency, which I'm working on. Um, the B12s are helping me. The magnesium does help as well. Um, I don't really have to deal with anxiety anymore, but the magnesium helps me, like if I have insomnia, if I can't sleep. Um, it just helps me stay calm just in general. What I'd really like to get more studied on is the saffron. I know it's like I hate to like get like I learn about something when it's trending and it's like, dang, I wish I knew about it before it became a trend. You know what I mean? But it's like, and I don't want to go get something because it is trending because then you don't know, like, is it just because it's this new fab or is it because it's actually really good? But the saffron seems to really, just like the magnesium, really help like a multitude of things. You know what I mean? So it's like there's definitely some supplements that I would like to check out. All right, let me. I was gonna pull up Erica's chart real quick, and I don't have her chart, so I do have to make it. It doesn't take but just like 2 seconds. Sandra, I love you. I hope that chart reading was helpful. Purple Rain is one. Um, the Purple Rain is going to be collective as well. If you're on this specific type of spiritual awakening journey, the color purple in itself is significant to you. If you're on this specific type of spiritual awakening journey, that song again is going to speak to you in ways that it may not other people. If you're on this specific type of journey, kind of like that movie we were talking about earlier does. Um, from time to time, I will see. The other day, somebody sent me a picture of my counterpart, the person who awakened me, um, of his child was wearing a Purple Rain t-shirt with Prince on it. And I just thought, wow. It was interesting because we had a live not too long ago where I was talking about other people's children, and how I wasn't going to date people that had children. Remember that conversation? Um, but yeah, like we were just talking about it, and then somebody sent me that picture, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. Okay, so let me Erica in here. And I know you did, but I mean, oh, I see other people saying their birthday. Did you send it to my email by chance? I'd rather you send it to my email than post it in the chat. But I mean, I didn't save. We're not saving the chat, so like, but the thing about YouTube is now it has highlights, so like it could share information that you may not want to share. I'm totally not seeing it. Yeah, I see Himani's. Hi, Himani. Himani says, my health is not good. When will I get married? I do. I need it again, Erica. I'm sorry. I can't find it. I tried scrolling through there. If you want to email it to me, it may be better. If you don't care, you want to post it in there, just post it in there. It's purplelunarose@gmail.com. This was so fun. It's been 3 hours. It does not feel like 3 hours. See, we definitely have to do more of these. I love tarot. I really do. I was just saying that to my future daughter-in-law too. I was like, I love tarot, but sadly, okay, so tarot is a tool, right? It's a tool like a screwdriver and a hammer. Like we use a hammer to put a nail through a wall, right? We use tarot to become enlightened, to learn something or see something about ourselves that we need to heal or work on, you know what I'm saying, or put our attention to, right? But what's happened is people have turned tarot into this, like, did you know there's tarot junkies out there? Like, there's tarot junkies, you know what I mean? Like, people that, like watch too much tarot. Like, I have to stop watching tarot, but not because I was watching too much tarot, but because I have to be cautious of who I'm getting my readings from. And you should be cautious who you're getting your readings from too. But but see, that's the whole point. Just that in itself, that we have to say you should be cautious who you get your tarot reading from. Like, that's sad. You shouldn't have to be. Just like a hammer nails puts a nail through a wall, tarot, like a hammer does one thing, right? You use that tool to do this one thing. Tarot has one meaning, right? It has one, like it has a meaning. It's not true. They have several meanings, but you know what I'm saying. Like you can look up the meaning to the cards, and then you can turn the cards over. I got your email, Erica. And then you can turn the cards over, and you can put the meanings together and know what the cards are saying. You see what I'm saying? But what happens is we have all these intuitive readers and all these people that are just lying to people, and 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 all this stuff going on, that tarot is turning into like something it was never meant to be. It's never meant to tell you your future. Like, that's ridiculous. It's literally meant to give you confirmation of things you already know and help you come into alignment, right? And another thing people do is they use tarot to look at what other people are doing. We sometimes do that when we're looking at masculine and feminine energies. I don't recommend it. We're not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be about your inner masculine and feminine energies. So it's like tarot gets so bent backwards and twisted that you can't even really use it properly and help somebody properly, because if their belief system, if their psyche's not in the right place, you see what I'm saying? Then it's not going to help them any. But astrology, just like the hammer only hammers one way, right? The screwdriver turns, I mean, I guess it turns both ways, but it only has one job. It's to turn, right? To put a screw in and out, right? So with astrology, it's the same. It's the same thing. It only has one meaning. It's a tool, and the tools only do one thing. You see what I'm trying to say? So it's like you can't really twist it to try to make it something like they have tarot. And I'm sure eventually with astrology they will too. But I think astrology is still newer. It's harder. It's not as easy as tarot, right? So it's like there's less people that study astrology or work with astrology. There's less people that can fake astrology because, one, that's impossible. But you see what I'm trying to say? Like, you can fake reading tarot. You could tell someone what a card means. That doesn't mean that if they don't know. You see what I'm saying? But again, you could just Google. Same with astrology. But sadly, it's like someone can get a tarot reading and they just want to know, like, what they want to hear, what they want to hear. And my tarot readings are not like that at all. Like, if you've been following me for any amount of time, you're badass. Like, you're a badass person who can take criticism and can run with it, can heal, fix it. You want people to tell you what's wrong so that you can fix it and your life can become better. There's people out there that only want to be told what they want to hear, that they're perfect and they don't have to change anything. In fact, there's more of them than there are of us. So my tarot readings are hard. Like I've had people tell me I have to cause people to cry. I don't mean to cause you to cry, but like what's the point of me reading you the tarot if I don't tell you the honest truth of it? You know what I'm saying? Like there's no point in that. I might as well just be a storyteller and just make shit up. You know what I mean? Like what's the point of learning tarot? you know? So it's I don't know. I just think it's important to say things as truthfully as possible. All right. And with astrology, the reason I like astrology is with tarot, somebody can be like, oh, that's not true. That didn't really happen, knowing that it happened to them, but they just don't want people to know. With astrology, it's impacting all of us. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's all of us. So you can't hide it. Like, we know. we know that Mercury's in the microwave. All right. Let me get her chart. March. Ooh. I yawned, and that wasn't a spirit yawn. That was a sleepy yawn. Do you know the time, Erica? I don't see it. Oh, never mind. I do see it. My bad. All right, Erica, do you care if I share your chart? I don't have to, but just let me know. Aries rising. Sun in Pisces, Moon in Virgo, and Aries rising. Sweet. I just now put it on there. I was slow. No, I said that to my son's girlfriend. Something. She got in her dad's car, and you know how the thing beeps at you, the car beeps at you if you put your seatbelt on. She got in her dad's car, and it started beeping, and she went to put the seatbelt on, but it kept beeping. So then they asked me, they're like, "Do you have your seatbelt on?" I was like, "Yeah." And the thing just kept beeping. It was so weird. I want to say he had to put it in park and all kinds of stuff, and he finally got it to stop beeping. But I looked at her and I was like, "Well, mercury's in the microwave." Okay, Erica, it's my first time ever looking at your chart. Oh my gosh, you got a Virgo moon right smack in the middle. Have mercy. Um, it's so funny because remember I was just talking to you about okay, well, I was talking to you about my future daughter-in-law, and I was going to say something about her moon, but her moon was a little different. Okay, you have Virgo moon, and so remember your moon are your emotions. So Virgo tends to overanalyze, like overthinks. So you probably, I think that you could overthink your emotions, and your emotions could definitely affect your health. And that's normal for anybody. Doesn't matter where your moon sign is, your emotions affect your health. But yours, not just more so, yours affects like your physical body. Yes. You overthink your emotions, and you could be overly emotional about your physical body. And I tell you all this stuff, guys. I'm not telling you all this stuff to be like, oh my gosh, you overthink or you're too emotional. I tell you this stuff so that now you know. Now you know. So let's say I'm spot on here, and you are like someone who like worries about every pimple or every wrinkle or something like that, and it causes um, like physical distress, right? Now you know that, so you could not over worry, right? You could do whatever steps need to be taken so that you're not obsessively thinking about your body, and then you wouldn't have that level of challenge in that area of your life. You see what I'm saying? Knowledge is power. So just because your chart says this thing doesn't mean that it's like that for the rest of your life. It means that that's something you're going to work on in this lifetime. Does that make sense? But you could also be emotional about something and like have every right to be emotional about that thing, and then tell yourself, "Oh, I'm too emotional. Oh, I'm too much. Oh, I cry too much. Oh, I get mad too easy. Oh," you see what I'm saying? But you have every right to be mad, or you have every right to cry. You see what I'm trying to say? So you gotta be cautious of that as well, like trying to downplay your emotions. It could be the opposite as well. Like you could be a super emotional person and you don't notice it. I feel like that's not the case, though. You have so much Capricorn on your chart. All right, here's another thing I'll share with you guys, and I'm just starting to learn about this part of how to do this. But look at Erica's chart on the screen, and if you look on the far left of the circle, you'll see Aries over there, her rising sign, and you'll see it's in red. See the red line on the outer circle? That's showing the house of Aries, okay? And it's very small. Now I want you to go up to the top of her chart. See the top of her chart where her 10th and ninth house is? Look how big that green area for Capricorn is. So she has way more Capricorn, earth energy, than she does fire energy, the Aries, which is interesting because it's her rising sign. Super. That just means that makes it for more challenging. I don't want to say it makes it for a more challenging life, but I mean it makes it for more challenges for sure. However, you're a hard worker. You don't quit. You could potentially have like you may not have yet, but you could have jobs for long periods of time, and you could even like retire from something. Like there may be something where you serve 25 plus years and then you retire from that place. And that's because of all that Capricorn. But I think this full moon is going to put a focus on your community and your friends, maybe even like your friends group. I think this full moon is going to spotlight or limit. This could be a full moon for you, Erica, where you thought somebody was your friend, and then the full moon shows you something about their character or something about them you didn't know that makes you feel like maybe you don't want that person in your friend circle. Again, this could be about a community or a group as well. It doesn't have to be like friends per se. It could be like a work group. You also have no planets. You have Uranus in the eighth house. Um, Off topic here. Not really off topic because it's Uranus. It's eighth house. Aquarius is the natural ruler of the eighth house. You also may come across some ancestral resources, family inheritance. You could also experience some type of windfall with this full moon. Go buy a lottery ticket for sure. Um, don't go buy no $50 lottery ticket. Go buy a $5 lottery ticket for Pete's sake. um, what else? Your nodes are in this placement, but I'm not going to talk. I'm not even going to touch on the nodes because that's just too much. But the fact that your south node is there is pretty impactful. It means that the friends I was talking about earlier, or the groups that they're completely done. It's complete closure. There's no going back. South node totally proves it. The Aquarius moon already proved it, but because your south node is there as well, for you personally, whatever you're closing out right now with this full moon, there is no going back whatsoever. Saturn in seventh house. Again, this could be, I'm talking friend groups, inner circle, but I mean, is it possible you have an intimate relationship in your inner circle? Of course. And I mean, if you do have an intimate relationship that just recently came to a closure or looks like it's on the brink of ending, know that it is and that it's not coming back. And most likely at this stage in the game, you don't want nothing to do with it anymore. Pluto in your seventh house is fierce. Have mercy, especially with Pluto in Aquarius, right? Like, have mercy. Okay, so I guess what I'm going to say for Erica, whatever is this full moon is showing you has come to a completion. And here's another thing. This is just the spirits telling me this. I feel like I'm cheating right now. This is not like your chart is telling me this. Just spirit is telling me this. Okay, it's possible that this thing I'm talking about that's come to a completion already did come to a completion, but you're getting the mental confirmation that you yourself, Erica, are personally done with it and you won't be going back to make that mistake again. Or I don't mean to cause that delay again. Again, I don't know that from your chart. I just know that because Spirit just told me. So, okay, so here's what I'm going to say. With this full moon, Erica, whatever is being shown to you or confirmed to you that it's done, it's completed, you can have confirmation in that. You don't have to question yourself. I don't think you're even questioning yourself anymore. I think you did question yourself, but there's no need to anymore. Also, this full moon could show you something to like give you like the nail in the coffin type of energy. Again, with the if you have close family members in your inner circle, they could be hiding resources as well. Remember, we talked about that with Nama. And here's what when I say they're hiding resources, Nama's like, I got good parents. What are you talking about? Okay, I'm not saying that like your parents are secretly evil and they're hiding money from you. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is the resource is going to come from ancestors, your parents, your grandparents, your great grandparents. It's a resource. A lot of times these are inheritances. That's why we use it as an example. So I'm not saying that, Erica, there's somebody in your family hiding resources or money from you. I'm saying there's a resource that a family member has, and they may not even know they have it that could help you at this current time, August 9th, 2025, with this woman. That's another thing I should have said with Namas. It's not like, you know, it's not like it may be something that only helps you right now with this full moon. It may not help you, 2 weeks from now when we're dealing with a different moon phase. You see what I mean? So again, if you're needing something right now that has to do with, well, for you, it's just going to be inheritance, windfall, resources. So it's like if you're needing resources at this time, dealing with whatever completions you're coming with this full moon, then you could potentially maybe look towards your family. There could be someone there that has the resource that you need. You may not have thought about them before because you may not have needed this resource before. Again, it doesn't always have to be money. So I would say with this full moon, investigate that a little bit more. A windfall is a windfall, so buy a lottery ticket. Don't go spend your savings, just go buy a simple ticket. And whatever inner circle closure is happening, especially if it's an intimate relationship, I hope this gives you the confirmation you needed to let that shit go. Right? All right. That's it. I hope that was helpful. She says, crazy you say that because my dad found out my stepmom has land. See, that's a perfect example. That's exactly what I mean. And took my son to see his favorite band, which made me so happy. I love that. I seen Diana say something about live music. It's so true. My music stopped playing for whatever reason. It stopped playing back there. It's probably spirit telling me I need to wrap it up since it is 11:44. All right. I think I'm going to leave it there, guys. I hope this was fun. I hope we can do this like way more often. I'm sure there was probably more of you. I know I've seen more birthdays in the chat. Because there's so much information and it's so much to like pull charts up in this type of thing, it's a lot harder to do like a great number of them. Um, but I hope that again, because we're here working collectively, right, and this very specific type of spiritual awakening journey, I hope that when we're talking about each other's charts, it's still helpful. You're still finding helpful tidbits of information. Most likely, you're going to have a lot of similarities to whoever's chart we're talking about, right? Because we're in this collective together. And I hope that if anything, it helps you look at your own chart and understand some of the parts and pieces to your own birth chart, right? Guys, I do offer astrology consultations. I break them down by houses and planets. So if you want to know, like, what job should I have in this lifetime? What would I be most successful at? You can go over to my Etsy shop and you can order that reading. If you want me to look at your entirety of your birth chart and give you an overview of your entire birth chart, I do that as well. And you can find that over in my Etsy shop as well. All those links, guys, are always in the description box. I'm definitely hoping to push PLR more towards the astrology. We're always going to have tarot. We're always going to read for the collective because of the specific journey that we're on. But I'd really, really like to start incorporating the astrology into it a lot more. When you're following your purpose, it's important that you're passionate about that purpose. And I feel like I'm passionate about astrology because it's exciting and it's fun for me, and I'm always learning. And there's no person out there that knows everything there is to know about astrology. You know what I'm trying to say? So I feel like that's really where my passion is now. Of course, when I started PLR, it was to talk about the twin flame journey, and it was to read tarot because I knew how helpful tarot was. But I mean, I'm growing, right? That's the whole point, is for us to grow and change, and there's going to be change because I have a feeling I struggle with those all 12 signs, and I have a feeling that we're going to see some change in the near future for PLR, and I'm really hoping that we can all get excited about this type of live stream more so than the 3 hours, let's read for all 12 signs. I got a feeling that it's about to change a little bit. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are excited about it. I can't wait to look at all your charts. And even if we looked at them today for Aquarius Full Moon, we can always use your chart as an example again for a different moon, or if we're talking about a different aspect, or we're talking about a different planet or placement. So yeah, I feel like this is something that could really get us more involved, and just be more interactive. You know what I mean? All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I'll be back on Tuesday night. Tuesday night, we're going to talk about the astrology for mid-August. So make sure to come back and join me for that. 8 p.m. as normal. If you're new, guys, make sure to hit those notification bells to all so it lets you know when I do go live. And if you're looking for a personal reading, always on my website or over on Etsy in my Etsy shop. And you can always find those links in the description box. I love you guys. Thank you so much for participating and hanging out with me. Almost 4 hour live. I can't believe it. Super good for my paycheck, though, right? I love you guys. Moderator ladies, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out as long as you did and helping me on all the platforms. I appreciate you guys so very much. I'll see everyone Tuesday night. I'm sending all of you love on your journey.